Gaming news today is all about debate. First, new Ghost of Yotei gameplay continues to impress, but the new gameplay in my current Tsushima video project really got me thinking. Will the story in Ghost of Yotei be too cliche to carry the legacy of the first game? Now, I have some theories about where the story will go given Sucker Punch's comments, and we'll get into that later. Second, the Mind's Eye actor is concerned that the game's horrible launch will actually hurt his career. And should a game's horrible launch hurt somebody's career? And is that game actually able to do that? And what'll end up happening with it long term? Third, the debate about Silksong difficulty continues, and now the question is Silksong harder than Elden Ring? That is actually being debated, and I thought it would be fun to kick that around with you guys today just for fun and see what people think. So if you're watching this later and there are not timestamps below, remind me and say, hey man, where are the timestamps? I've tried to be better about that. I'm trying to quickly add those instead of just launching into it right at the beginning of the stream. I like to just talk with the chat, and we just sort of talk about all the different things for the opening hour, and then we get into it. If you are watching this later, hit the like button as well. That helps. Even though I'm no longer live, that can help this video find new people. And this channel is pretty much 100% fan funded. You may have seen a lot of videos about trouble on YouTube, and a lot of people are really pushing like Patreon and other things. We just do channel memberships right here on the channel, so consider clicking join. Pick Member Plus for $6. It gets you into my Discord. It streams with my wife, as well as morning coffee and green room. That's just more content for you and more live shows. So make sure you are doing all of those things. And if you are a coffee drinker, we don't do lots of sponsorships. We are currently really not in the position for that, but coffee is not a sponsor, but it's an easy way for you to support the channel if you are a coffee drinker. Check out the link below or go to reforgeroast.com. All right, so let's get into the discussions this morning and what everybody's looking forward to. I think there was a brand new video even put out from Ghost of Yotei. I believe it was on Twitter. It might actually be on YouTube as well. So make sure that you guys are already pushing that like button. That would definitely help us immensely to get things started. Yeah, they have a video called The Hunt Begins, and this went live just today. Let's take a look at this one, just to kind of start things off here and see what's going on. And Joker Quinn, Han shot first, and so did you. These guys set up a 20-bomb dunker before the show even started. I owe a single member to YouTube because thank you so much, D487, for dropping that 10-bomb before anything even got underway this morning. Greatly appreciate it, and we'll check out this brand new video from Sucker Punch and PlayStation. We'll see what they're saying. Raphael McCoy is actually going to put a pause on that, and he's going to hit a 5-bomb and take us to 261. Thank you so much, Raphael McCoy, for moving things there, and that's going to take us to 17-10 between the two platforms. If you're over there on purple, thank you so much. Alex gifted a sub to feed, and then Wired Rope came in with a big one. He dropped a 10-bomb on the channel, so that is going to be an 11, and that is going to take us to 272. Thank you boys so much for getting the thing started already, and that's going to make it 21-17. Twitch now pulling ahead in the contest. I got Feed. Do I get something special for that? You do get something special for that. Thank you so much for taking care of Feed. Feed is the man, and we appreciate anybody taking care of him and making sure he has a membership. So roll the thing. Yeah, let's roll the thing. Let's roll the thing. You guys are gifting and interrupting the show, so we're never going to get to it at this point because people are just being so kind and so generous. So we appreciate it very, very much. If you guys missed the Venom video, also be sure to check that out. So we're going to be taking a look at a brand new Ghost of Yotei trailer this morning that was just dropped by PlayStation and Sucker Punch. Let me make sure our audio's set here. I'm gonna pause my own music, and I don't want to blow y'all's eardrums out. So there we go. Let's take a look here.
We live and we die. But a ghost carves their own path. Wandering a road of steel and ash. Finding renewal beyond revenge. The things we endure make us what we are. But a ghost chooses who they will become. And you will know my name.
There you go. There you go. I like the emphasis on, like, the whole ghost thing. I'm kind of interested in what she ends up doing with that. Like, is she going to really push that the whole time? And a 20 bomb comes in from Pathalon Phoenix and takes us to 292. He's like, listen, Twitch, if you guys want to have a war today, we'll have ourselves a fight. It's now 37 to 21. There is a hype train going over there on purple. Now is the time to fight back if you're going to fight back. So thank you, boys, so much for the help and the support of the channel. It means the world to me. It's how I'm able to do this full time with your ongoing support with gifteds. And we are now at 293. Thank you so much, Stonespire. Stonespire is going to probably try to bump this so that somebody can drop a 5 bomb and get us to 300, and then we'll be on pace for the week. If we hit 500, it unlocks the Friday night stream where Madam and I will be playing some more Borderlands with you guys. I heard you got fired. Who? The actor? How do you fire the actor? She already did all of her work. Stonespire's coming in with another one and getting us to 294. Somebody get that 5 bomb ready. Oh, it's going to be 295 because Boss Tackett just renewed with their Prime over there on purple. If you guys want to help us get back to level 1 on sub points over there, consider signing up for a sub over there on Twitch. Primes and gifteds don't count. We're at 296 now. We're at 297. Stonespire and Joker Quinn over here doing the thing they always do, jockeying for position and trying to set up dunkers. I appreciate it so much. I got 2 that I owe YouTube. I'm tired of the cinematic trailers. Just show us gameplay. Well, the funny thing about Yōtei, they've shown a ton of gameplay, actually. Generally, I agree with you. I'm not super fond of, doing lots of cinematic trailers, but Ghost of Yotei gameplay is plentiful right now. And a 5 bomb comes in from Siege Master. He's like, I don't need a perfect setup. I'm just going to do it. And he drops it and bumps us to 302. I now owe 3 members to YouTube. It's 46 to 22 in the contest. Thank you guys so much. Yeah, I think there are plenty of Ghost of Yotei trailers out there that are showcasing a good amount of gameplay. I don't think we're lacking in the gameplay department. I think we've got plenty of looks at the game at this point. There's so many good games to play right now, and so many more coming. Silent Hill and Ghost up next. There's certainly no lacking of good games coming. People want the truth. Nothing wrong with exposing it. I'm not sure what are you speaking about, Incredible Black? The dual katana video was fire. Yeah, I thought the dual katana video looked amazing. Don't forget Hades 2. That's right, Hades 2. There's saw it somewhere. Said voice actor got let go. Must be fake. I don't know how you let somebody go. She's already done all the work there is to do. The game's done. You're going to be installing the game in 2 weeks. I don't think they let her go. They let somebody go that said something crazy on Blue Sky, and that was that. I don't think there's been any other action taken against anybody that we've seen. That's like saying Harrison Ford got fired from Star Wars. Yeah, I don't think there's a way to like fire her. I think it's pretty much set. She got let go because the game went gold. That's right. The Randy thing. I was late on MC. Yeah, I mean, we've not done much coverage of Randy Pitchford, and the hype train's come to an end over here on Purple. Thank you guys so much. who added to it and got us to a level 4 over there. Appreciate you. They're gonna replace all of her lines with Troy Baker. That's right. They're gonna bring Troy Baker in. I mean, that's the only option, honestly. If you got to replace somebody, we're gonna be working our way through Ghost of Yotei gameplay, and we are definitely gonna be hearing good old Troy Baker delivering all those lines. They added loot drops with rarities to Deep Rock Galactic Survivor. It's effing cheating. I love loot drops. I know. I'm avoiding it, Zoob. I can't. I don't have time. Madam and I played more Borderlands last night. So, he's so good you won't even notice. That's right. So, really, Lono, she said something crazy, disappointing here. She spoke, thinking the same. Yeah, I'm not going to debate that with you. No, I'm not debating that with you. No, I'm not. I've already said my piece about it, and I have zero interest in discussing that with you. I cover gaming. I don't cover what people say, what stupid people say on Blue Sky and Twitter. I have no desire to discuss that with you. Get Charlie Cox to do the voice so Pattinson can get the award. That's right. All Troy Baker needs to do is authorize the use of his voice as an AI, and the entire voice actor industry dies. That's right. You define it as crazy. I'll say whatever the frick I want on my show, Peter. Like, shut the frick up. Do you like that? Does that work? I just disagree. Yeah, I'm not debating this with you, brother. I'm not. Like, if you want to have that debate, go somewhere else. Like, I've made it crystal clear, and guys like you want to keep pushing the issue, you won't last long. Dan with a $5 super chat. Now that I own a Pro, I'm really considering playing Ghost of Tsushima. Would you play the original or the director's cut? I would play the director's cut. There's no reason to play the original. The director's cut, they fixed the voice sync. They fixed they added a whole bunch of stuff. They did stuff with like 3D audio. They did stuff with I would play the director's cut. I'm trying to remember all the stuff they did. They did stuff with the haptic feedback. They did plenty. So why would you play the original? Yeah, there's no reason to play the original. I would play the director's cut because you're going to get the best version of the game. I would think. So make sure as you guys are coming in, you're hitting the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Yeah, director's cut also comes with the expansion. That's right. Yeah, play the original because it's cheaper. That'd be the only reason, I guess. Minch Tree was 6 months. Borderlands on the big screen, Lone in the background. Let's go. Thank you so much, Minch Tree. Thank you for 6 months. And using your Prime. We appreciate you guys using your Primes over there. If you have Amazon Prime, that is something you can do every single month for free over there on Purple. If you don't have a Prime, that's okay. You can still support Twitch and help us get back to level 1 with a regular sub. Primes and gifteds don't actually help with the level 1 thing. We learned that this morning. I didn't know that. So don't feel bad if you don't have a Prime. You can still help with what we're doing over here. I didn't watch much media on Yōtei. I knew I wanted to get it. Yeah, there's plenty of Ghost of Yotei trailers. There's ample Ghost of Yotei gameplay for you to make a decision about whether or not you want to get it. Like somebody said this morning, they're tired of cinematic trailers or whatever. I'm like, I don't think we've gotten a lack of gameplay. Like if you're curious what Ghost of Yotei gameplay looks like, there's a ton of content out there. They have videos dedicated to like just the individual weapons. You know what I mean? When I get sold on a game, I don't need more info. Like FFT, for example, yeah, I'm good. I've started to do that with shows and movies, right? Like once I know that I won something, I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I don't need to see any more. Now, obviously with Yōtei, I'm obviously really excited. So, like after coming out of Tsushima, especially. So, let's see here. Cool Yōtei art. Yeah, this is from the Japanese PlayStation account. Yeah, it looks like it's like concept art that they're just kind of rotating through. And I've got a little thing written up about the about the story and some of the things that some of the things going on there. Like, I've got concerns about the story, but we've got some comments from Sucker Punch that I think put us down a good path of theory of what they might do with the story. Sony's really marketing Ghost of Yotei now. I had another Ghost of Yotei ad today. Yeah, it seems like they're ramping up, which is probably because the State of Play or the showcase or whatever it is coming up next week, and then Tokyo Game Show as well. We will be we'll be covering all of that, obviously. Tell them that Ghost 1 is on extra. Yeah, I mean, I guess if you just want to get it that way as well. I had those Yōtei images as avatars on PlayStation from pre-order in the Deluxe Edition. Oh, nice. So if you pre-order Ghost of Yotei Deluxe Edition, you get, like, avatars on PlayStation. Love to do that sort of thing. They're doing anything for Yōtei. I don't think it'd be that much of a price difference. Feels good. Two writers from Dragon Age is on there. That's pretty much it. I mean, if you guys are going to come in and be ignorant about Yōtei, take the day off. I don't want to hear from you. I don't. I have zero interest in hearing people coming in here and running narrative on Yōtei. It's generally the exact same team as Tsushima, and if you've been propagandized by liars, then go somewhere else. I don't want to hear from you. I don't. I'd like you to go somewhere else. I would like to talk about Yōtei and not have to listen to a single one of you that have decided that it's going to be a bad game and it's going to be terrible because I watched some YouTuber lie. So if that's what you're going to do, go somewhere else. I want more Avatar and interactive game themes. Very cool looking. I'm tired of people who say boycott. Yeah, if that's what people are going to come in and talk about and do, I'd take the day off. I don't want to listen to you or hear what you have to say. And if you think that's an echo chamber, good. Go to another one. It's good. It's going to be a great game. I don't care what anybody says. As far as I can tell, it's going to be a great continuation of the franchise. I don't see any reason to do any of the fear-mongering that people are doing. You know what I mean? Thank you so much, Stone Spire, for gifting a member and bumping the line to 305. He's trying to tempt a 20 bomb to 325. We'll see if anybody gives him the goods here before Joker Quinn ruins it. What do you think of State of Play on Wednesday? Tokyo on Thursday? I don't know how they're going to want to time it. If they do it with the way that they did with like Summer Game Fest, I bet you it'll be Tuesday. I don't know if they want to be right up against. I don't know if they're going to want to be right up against what's happening on Tokyo Game Show. I would imagine it'd be Tuesday. Now, I could be wrong. Maybe they want to be right up against it. I don't know. Maybe they want to be right up against Tokyo Game Show. So, like, they'll do something Wednesday and then the very next day. And both Risic and Joker Quinn are going to ruin it and bump it to 307. Two singles coming in from Risic and Joker Quinn. I appreciate it so much. Thank you. Congrats on the move. That's always tough. We've been slammed with school. Oh, so yeah, if I could go the rest of my life without moving, I would go the rest of my life without moving. Perfect Image is trying to summon a 50 bomb by spamming Farty Bomb. Let's talk Yōtei hopes. Number one for me, limited hand-to-hand combat. Can you expand on what you mean? When you say limited hand-to-hand, do you mean like when you lose your sword and you have to use your hands? I'm not sure what you mean. Yōtei will be 8 out of 10. Yeah, people asked me what I thought like Ghost of Yotei, what I thought like its Metacritic score would be. I bet it ends up being 86, 87. I don't know if it could be much higher than that. Honestly, I think these types of games tend to get capped. Like, there's going to be enough outlets that are just sort of like, yeah, I had a good time. Yeah, it's more Ghost of Tsushima. Like, I don't think it's going to be above a 90. I don't think it'll be able to do that. Punching or kicking, it doesn't need to be an Arkham combat system. Oh, yeah, I don't think that's going to be the focus, Black Ant. If you watch, there was a recent interview about Ghost of Yotei gameplay, and they essentially were asking the question, you know, how often do you lose your weapon, and what's that like, or whatever. And it seems like, yeah, periodically, if you get hit really, really hard, you're going to lose your weapon, and you're going to have to, like, try to get back to it, right? But it doesn't sound like that's going to be a central part of the combat where you're, like, running around punching and kicking people. It seems like it's going to be, like, a thing that happens, and then you fix it by, like, going and getting your weapon back. And also, I would imagine, unless you're, like, really jacking the difficulty and raising it, I would imagine that you're not losing your weapon all that often. It seemingly only happens when you get hit by, like, a really, really heavy attack. I would hazard a guess that you're not going to be getting hit by those all of the time. Like, they're probably going to be pretty obvious when they're coming, you know, big wind-ups, big flashes of red or whatever, and then you're able to get out of the way. I personally kind of agree with you. I would not want Ghost of Yotei gameplay to be punctuated by a lot of hand-to-hand. That really wouldn't be in line with the game and the genre. And listen, everything they've shown us, I don't think that's going to be happening at an interval where you're like, oh, gosh. You know. My guy was 83 for weeks now. Like to be wrong, but it's a wait and see now. Oh, I think you meant to say my gut. My gut was 83. I was hoping for at least a few melee moves while you scramble for your weapon. I don't know if their focus is going to be having you doing a lot of hand to hand. Why is it not doing? Okay, there we go. It's supposed to be shuffling the songs. I hope at the end of Yōtei, the protagonist actually turns into this, so we can laugh at the folks. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Review embargo is 1 week before. Biggest potential for it to be plus 90. The mock reviews must have been really good. If it's not hitting 88 or 89, I doubt it's Game of the Year nom. Yeah, I honestly could see Yōtei not getting a Game of the Year nom this year, Eugene. But I also think they're not wrong that, like, the Ghost of Yotei review embargo being an entire week beforehand, that'll certainly add points to it. It will. Like, that means they're really confident. That means it's a really, really good game. But that's also been generally how Sony's games have been reviewed. You know? Expedition 33 is winning it. Stop trying to force it. I mean, if you listen to the conversation, you would have heard them say nomination and not win, but that's a separate discussion. We're not talking about winning. We're talking about nomination. Yeah, I think the week early is a very typical Sony embargo. So I don't necessarily think they were like, oh, Yotei's going to crush it, get the embargo out early. They've generally handled their review embargoes in a very similar way. Silksong proved that Metacritic scores and review codes aren't necessary. Trust the Steam score. Well, for sure. For sure. Sorry, I was just joking. No, I don't disagree with what you're saying, Mike. I do think Expedition 33 is going to win it. I just think that's a separate discussion. We weren't talking about winning. We were talking about nomination. So when you said that, I was like, I'm not sure why you're saying that. Nobody was saying Yōtei has a shot to win. I said for a very long time that Yōtei wouldn't be a contender. Like, it would potentially get a nomination, but I've said for a very long time it was going to be between Expedition 33 and Death Stranding 2. So, Death Stranding 2 embargo was like a week, and that embargo released before early access as well. I'm still buying Ghost. Good for you. Kirby Air Riders is going to win Game of the Year. This is correct. It is. Yeah. Do not sleep on DK Bonanza. DK Bonanza has no shot. at winning. No way. Not even close. Donkey Kong would lose to Death Stranding 2. It wouldn't even beat Death Stranding 2. There's just no way. Silksong is indie style. Those games really don't need reviews. Why don't they need reviews? I'm confused as to why you would think that. I mean, I don't know. In general, I think that games like like a Hades or like a Silksong or like a Hollow Knight in the past, I think they could be reviewed just like any other game. I think they're good games. Just because they're indie doesn't mean we don't need reviews. I tried Air Riders a million times on the GameCube and just couldn't get into it. Apparently, City Trial is all that matters. City Trial is all that matters. You shouldn't have to. You don't want to spend any time in the racing in Kirby Air Riders. Is what we're told. Now in Ghost of Yotei, there is no City Trial. But in Ghost of Yotei, my main thought, and what I kind of wrote a little script about today, is about the story. That is. So we've got a really, really big Ghost of Tsushima project. I recorded all the videos yesterday, and we'll probably have that up sometime next week if all goes well. It's a pretty big project, but in going through Ghost of Tsushima, Supercut Replay, I started to get a little concerned about the story. So we did a bit of a deep dive yesterday. We did a little bit of a discussion. Some people left some comments, and so I'm going to do a little talk about Ghost of Yotei today and its story, and I've got some theories as to what might be happening with the story. Do me a quick favor, if you haven't hit the like button yet, hit that like button, hit that thumbs up. Did you play Astrobot? Yeah, I loved it. Excuse me. Yes, I did. I loved it. Yo, what's good, Light Leap? Tsushima's held in such high regard. I'm surprised it only scored an 83. I never knew that. It's really weird, Mike. That score to this day blows my mind, because I thought it was in contention for Game of the Year, over The Last of Us Part 2. Now, Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut got like an 86. So the game, I still to this day am confused as to how Tsushima scored the way that it did. It's considered like a masterpiece, and you go to the user score, and it's like ridiculously high, right? Whether you go to you can go to the Steam store, or you can go to the PlayStation store, and it's unbelievable the chasm between what the outlets said. It has a 93% on Steam. Its recent reviews are 77. Gee, I wonder why people are randomly going and review bombing a game on Steam that's been on there for over a year. Gee, I wonder why that's happening. And then it has a 92% on PlayStation. So it has a 93% on a 93% on Steam, and a 92% on PlayStation. So I mean, it's 10 points higher according to the users versus the review outlets. I kind of agree with the initial reviews. I also agree with the director's cut reviews. The open world was pretty weak. Wait, hang on a minute. So what? Wait, I'm confused. What made you think it got better in the director's cut, Eugene? Lona going to play Yōtei with lo-fi? I don't think so. I think I'm just going to play the normal version. I'm not going to turn on any of that stuff. Really hoping South of Midnight wins Best Musical Score. Oh, no. I mean, nothing's beating Expedition 33 in soundtrack. Nothing's going to beat Expedition 33 in soundtrack or any of that. Ghost of Yotei will get nominated for music. I don't know if you've seen the documentary about what they did with the music. The music for Yōtei is going to be insanely good. Director's Cut improved performance and included DLC, makes it a better product. Yeah, I mean, I could see that, I guess. What is an example of an open world that's not weak? I have always thought that Ghost of Tsushima's open world was fantastic. I have your shirt in Wolverine's blue and yellow version. Oh, nice. Thank you, Liquid. Dope shirt. I appreciate it. South of Midnight had great music and use of it. Yeah. Yeah. Yotei's music also sounds incredible. Like the Ghost of Yotei original soundtrack, I think is going to do very well and also get nominated as well. But I think, again, that's just going to go to Expedition. Which is better, review score or user score? I have always said the most reliable barometer for a game's quality is the user score with verified purchase. The user score on Metacritic is a freaking joke. So like the Steam user score and the PlayStation user score, the Xbox score, when you go to the users, I think that's your best barometer. Now, I've already said, and I've said many times, like when the Ghost of Yotei review lands for like Metacritic and OpenCritic, I've always said that gives you a good approximation. That gives you a good approximation of the game's quality. But I've always said the best barometer is the user score. It just is. I think user scores are the best barometer because it's the law of large numbers. You have tens of thousands of people scoring something. If it's got a 92 or a 93, you're like, well, this game's got to be good. That doesn't mean you're going to like it, by the way. It just means that the game is quality. Like, you're never going to have a game on Steam with a score that high if it's not a very quality game. Like, it's not dealing with bugs, glitches, crashes, problems, right? You know, user scores typically aren't analytical. They do have different aims, sure. But when a game has, 50,000 reviews and it's got like a 90-something%, you know that's like, okay, that's got to be a pretty good game, I think that between the two, you can usually make a pretty good analysis of whether or not you will like a game. Now, I could look at the user scores and the review scores of Baldur's Gate 3, and I know deep down that game, I'm not going to enjoy it as much as the person who gave it a 10 out of 10. But I can tell you, I know it's a great game. Does that make sense? Like, I personally can know, like, I probably wouldn't enjoy it that much, but I can sit here and tell you, oh no, that's a very high-quality game. I can tell by looking at the scores. Right? I can tell by looking at the scores. I think you can see this with, and this was something that I thought was really, really easy to see with a similar game to Ghost of Yotei. I'm sorry, not Ghost of Yotei. This is similar to Ghost of Yotei. Assassin's Creed Shadows has an overall score of an 80% on Steam. And then when you go to the PlayStation Store, Assassin's Creed Shadows has an overall score of 86. That's a very good score. Right? Now, obviously, Steam is always going to have its own issues. Like, sometimes the score is lower on Steam because of, like, performance issues. So, like, when the Ghost of Yotei release date hits, I think that the user scores will be very strong. I don't think anybody will be shocked. What's going on with Mind's Eye? So, the actor in Mind's Eye, he's, like, worried that it's going to ruin his career being associated with that project. You got to feel bad for that guy because every single time there's a thumbnail for Mind's Eye and how bad it is, it's his face. Like, unfortunately, I shouldn't laugh, but it is kind of funny. But it also isn't funny. Like, imagine being attached to that project. You show up to the mocap and you read the lines and you do all the stuff, and then the game bombs and you open up YouTube and you're like, why is my face the face of this game? Yeah, looking all stupid and goofy with his mouth hanging open. I just imagine, like, he has a relative that, like, calls him, honey, have you seen this on you? Why is your face everywhere? I doubt a lot of people know who he is. Well, I mean, yeah, he'll be fine. But I don't think he'll get, like, a leading role in a game anytime soon because people will see his face and immediately think of Mind's Eye. I feel bad for him. I do. That game was an utter disaster, and the way the studio has handled everything since has just been ridiculous. It's just been ridiculous. So, yeah, I mean, because getting a leading role in a game is a pretty big deal. I mean, if you look at a lot of the games coming out lately, I mean, you see some pretty, That's your Aunt May impression? No, that's not my Aunt May impression. I just did an older lady impression. That was generic. I completed Mind's Eye. It was bad, but I still enjoyed it. Okay. You agree. You liked DK. You don't know if it's game worthy, game nominee worthy. Yeah, I mean, Ghost of Yotei is going to have to land pretty high. If we end up seeing a Ghost of Yotei Game of the Year nomination, I mean, it's going to have to land pretty high. It's going to need to at least touch 89 to have a shot. If it slips and is like an 86 or something, it might not get nominated. There's just too many good games that have come out for Ghost of Yotei to stand tall was like an 86. It's going to need at least an 89. Like, I agree with Eugene on that. That like if it can't be in the hemisphere, you know, of a 90, it's going to struggle to get that nomination. Yeah, the Dying Light Beast comes out today, yeah. That's his bog standard old person impersonation. This is correct. I bought Yōtei and I'm looking forward to playing it. I had a burger with moldy bread for lunch. It was bad and I still enjoyed it. That's right. I don't know if Balatro got a nom. DK can get one. It's such a tough year, though. It's such a tough year. And Balatro is kind of like Blueprints this year, you know? It's like one of those scrappy little titles that like everybody loved. I could have sworn I saw that actor in other things. You probably did. A lot of these people are in other things. The Ghost of Yotei actress has been in a lot of things. You know, a lot of times when you're playing a game and the lead person has been in a lot of stuff. That's generally true. The Wolf gave me some points of score. It gave you points of score? I'm not sure what you're trying to say. I support being able to take joy in things that are bad. It's a good approach to life. I mean, I'm here every day. I live that. Shut the frick up, Zubair. There's a lot of voice actors how have hundreds of credits to their names. Yeah. A lot of the people that get the work have been doing it for a long time. I can't wait to play Yōtei, but between Hades 2 coming out in 1.0 next week and Silent Hill, along with playing Borderlands 4 right now, I don't know when I can get into it. Yeah, my wife and I's progress in BL4, we are moving slow. I remember people were calling GTA 6 woke just because they heard about a female protagonist and then they saw, yeah. People jumped the gun, and that's fine. Review score? Well, I was pretty sure. Oh, you think it's going to be a 90 because of the Wolf? Yeah, I don't know if Ghost of Yotei is going to land a 90 because of the Wolf. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm excited about the Wolf. There's a Wolf skill tree in Ghost of Yotei, right? There's a Wolf skill tree in Ghost of Yotei. So, you know, it could do well. It could do well because of that alone. You're guessing 80 to 85? That's on the low end, honestly. I can't see it scoring lower than Tsushima. That would be weird. Homo says homie, not homo. Homie says the Wolf t-shirt crew is going to represent. Yeah, the Wolf boys are out. They're coming for this game. 91 for me. I really think Hades 2 is going to challenge Expedition 33. It has been incredible in early access. I'm expecting them to drop a ton more content with 1.0. Yeah, I don't know, dude. Hades 2 is not going to be able to take down Expedition 33. I don't know if anything's going to be able to take down Expedition 33. You know? Can use wolf weapons. That's right. Yōtei will undoubtedly score in the high 80s, low 90s, simply because Tsushima's gravitas will help it get there. People will remember how off they were the first time and will rectify that. Who said what? Yeah. He said, homie. Homie says the Wolf Shirt crew. 1.0 for Hades 2 is only adding story content as far as I know. I'll take the elephant lower if it's lower than 90. If Ghost of Yotei hits a 90, I mean, I'm telling you, I'll be very impressed. I will be very, very impressed if it hits above a 90 or above. I think that's extremely difficult to do. Like I said, I think it's going to be like an 87. Dev said you don't control the wolf. Did he explicitly say that? I didn't think he said that. Thank you for the gifted member for 21 months. Guys, do me a real quick favor. Make sure you've hit the thumbs up. If you have not hit the thumbs up button yet, do it. Try to get us to 200. Also, see if you're on Member Plus. We are trying to get to 600 people on Member Plus. We did morning coffee this morning just with Member Plus and above. For $6 a month, you get into extra content, extra shows, and it does support the channel directly. You can type !upgrade in the chat and potentially upgrade your membership. It's $1 more than the standard membership. And it's a new month. Check your primes on purple as well. That's right. We're on pace right now. We came into today at 300 because you guys have already gone crazy. I suspect the wolf in Ghost of Yotei is mostly there to draw aggro. It sounds like he's able to attack people. Where the dev was answering 100 questions. Well, I don't think you're going to be able to control the wolf as in like pilot the wolf, but I think you're going to be able to like call him in to help. I don't think he said he's always there. The wolf's sort of like always there and always around. I think you're going to be able to like whistle or something, like point, and he's going to do something. Like, I don't think the wolf's just going to be, an autonomous NPC that can like just come in and attack whenever it feels like it. Yeah. Is there crafting? If it's like Ghost of Tsushima, then Ghost of Yotei will have you going to like NPCs and you will be upgrading your equipment. Lono is about to be in a shambles that you can't control the wolf. Well, I think when they said that you can't control the wolf, I mean, I think what they were ultimately hinting at is that a co-op partner will be able to control the wolf, right? You know what I mean? Wait, how do you whistle? What do you mean? Are you genuinely, you don't know how to whistle? Is this like you genuinely don't know how? Is that a genuine question? I'm pretty sure there are videos on YouTube on how to whistle and snap your fingers and skip and play hopscotch. I'm pretty sure there's channels dedicated to that. This homie's like, hey, wait. Guys, I know that. Oh, come on. I thought I fixed this. That is really, really frustrating. All right, hang on a second. Let's fix it. There we go. I've got to figure out why that's happening. That USB port like goes to sleep, I guess. I don't know why that happens. That happened during morning coffee. That was a while ago. Isn't that creepy? All of a sudden it's like, oh no, Lono's frozen in time. I switched it to a different port and it's still happening. I'm not really sure why it goes to sleep. I don't get it. I do not get it. Well, you know what? I wonder if it's this. Let me go to the properties of deactivate when not showing. I wonder if that'll do it. No, because then that has to like turn it on. Yeah. That's unfortunate. Unless we can do a show transition if we double the milliseconds. That's almost it. That should jar it every time. And then, yeah, that's still a little awkward. It's still like jerky because of the show transition needs to be, maybe it needs to be 1200 milliseconds. Let's try that. Yeah, that's not really smooth. Oh, I'll have to figure out why it's happening, boys. I'm not really sure why it's happening, but yeah. Deactivating it while I'm not on it would help. It's your BIOS? What the frick? What setting in my BIOS do I need to change? Oh, no, I do. Just your whistle was weird. Oh, I just did like a whistle through my teeth. Like that. All right, that's all. You can obviously do like the classic whistle, but I don't know. I'm not wanting to do that right now. Thank you so much, Trill, for 39 months and a VIP. Gets us to 308. I love that he's like, no. Just so we're clear, I know how to whistle. I had to take it to an expert. I don't know what they changed. Oh, I suppose I could Google that, like USB device going to sleep BIOS, and just see if there's some kind of a setting in there. I don't know. It's weird because the interesting thing is I'm getting everything I should get. I'm getting 60 frames per second. It's not like it's on a port that it shouldn't be on, like the HDMI device that I'm using. It's an Elgato cap card, and the camera shakes a little bit whenever I move the microphone, so I try not to do that whenever I switch to this scene. But, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how these guys whistle with their fingers. Yeah, I've never been able to do that one. Yeah. Yeah, as far as I could tell, though, in Ghost of Yotei, the wolf, I think you're going to be able to, like, call the wolf to do stuff. I just don't think you're going to be able to, like, control the wolf. I don't think you're going to be, like, playing Ghost of Yotei gameplay, and you're going to be, like, running around from the wolf's perspective or something, Premium streamer having premium hiccups. This is correct. OCD, why is the white wall not the same as the wall behind you? Well, these are all around the studio. Those are professional sound dampening panels. I've got a bunch on that wall, and then I've got ones on the ceiling above me. So that's why. I actually think it looks kind of cool where you've got like a straight line of foam down and then you got like a plain wall. I don't know. There we go. I was hitting the wrong button. That floor is pristine. Yeah, the floor is looking pretty nice. Nice tile floor that they put in here. It was a bedroom before we moved in. Do you think Ghost of Yotei will fall prey to the Spider-Man 1 to 2 trap? First one great, second one good but not great. Well, I have a script about that. We're going to be talking about the Ghost of Yotei story in a little bit. I have a big, huge project video that'll be landing, I believe, sometime next week about Ghost of Tsushima, and it talks about the story and how it's a story about honor. And it really got me thinking about Ghost of Yotei. Like, is the story in Ghost of Yotei going to be not as good? Because I watched a video this morning by GJX. He's a good guy. You guys should definitely check out his content. And his video was basically saying that, some of the hate for Spider-Man 2 was warranted. And I actually agreed with some of his points that, like, I thought the Spider-Man 1 story was so much better than Spider-Man 2. That obviously is a concern with Yotei. The concern with Ghost of Yotei is, are we just going to get, like, some generic revenge story, right? Sorry about that. I'll pause them. Sorry. Thank you, Diablo Dark Matter. I love the combat in Ghost 1, but to be honest, I don't remember a lick of the story. Well, make sure you're subscribed to my YouTube and make sure you check out that video next week. It's going to be pretty long. It'll probably be somewhere between 30 and 40 minutes. And it's a fairly extensive look at the story and Jin Sakai, and the significance of that story. I do think some people maybe didn't pick up on everything. There's a lot of foreshadowing. There's a lot of things that take place throughout the story that I think are of just magnificent significance. It's a very, very well told story. So obviously when you go into Ghost of Yotei gameplay, the concern would be, man, that first game just nailed so many of these story elements. I really hope they do that with this one. And obviously when the first trailer came out, when the Ghost of Yotei trailer came out about the Yotei 6, everybody was saying that's extremely similar to the AC Shadows story. And I thought the story in AC Shadows was fine. I thought it got a little long in the tooth, and I didn't think the combat system was good enough for I didn't think the combat system was good enough to kind of go the distance with it. Like, I got kind of tired of the game, like, relatively quickly. And so, for me, when I look at Yōtei, that's what I'm thinking. I know they can nail the combat. Like, I know people are, like, upset that there aren't stances, but there are stances. Ghost of Yotei has stances. It's just that the stances are in the form of the weapons. So instead of holding the katana and just changing the way you're holding it, you're going to switch to two, or you're going to pull out the odachi, or you're going to pull out a spear, or you're going to pull out the kasurigama. It's the same principle. You're switching to a different weapon because Ghost of Yotei's gameplay is going to center around the same thing that Tsushima did, moment-to-moment decision-making. It's not going to be any different in that basic layer. Like, that foundational layer, it's not going to be any different at that level. People are like, oh, they removed the stances, oh, it's going to be so bad, and blah, blah, blah. I don't think that is true. I do not think that is true. I think that the combat is going to be excellent. I think the combat is going to deliver on what the first game delivered. The story was fantastic and so well told. Here's the reason why I think the story in Ghost of Yotei matters quite a bit. And I'm not going to get into my script just yet, okay? But here's why I think it matters. Because if not, then it's just another like action game where the lead character has a sword. You know? It's just another action game where the character has a sword. Like, the combat system will carry it significantly within the genre. But I think what carries a game like Ghost of Yotei is the story. There has to be compelling characters. There has to be a compelling narrative. I don't know about you guys, but, like, not every game is like this. So obviously I'm playing BL4 with my wife, and we're barely touching the story. But we're just having a really, really good time with the content loop. We're having a really good time with the content loop. And one of the reasons we're having a really good time with the content loop is it's just sort of self-explanatory, right? Do the looties and do the shooties. Well, in Ghost of Yotei, I need to care about what I'm doing because it's quite literally attached to everything that you're doing. Like, in BL4, you're just shooting stuff and stuff's popping out. Like, that's kind of the point. In Yotei, like, I'm trying to go kill somebody. It's personal. Like, the minute you have a story that's personal, you've got to nail the story elements. It's similar to other games in this vein. And if you don't nail that part, then I think a lot of people are going to be like, yeah, it was just kind of a cliche story, cliche action game. You've been playing on the Series S. You picked it up for PC as well. Just haven't had time to start a new character. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with my PC character. I was really enjoying playing on PC, but, like, I don't know if I have the time to level 2 characters and to do 2 gameplays. Even AC Shadows, you understand why they do what they do. Yes, exactly. If you guys agree with what I'm saying or disagree with what I'm saying, I need 15 of you to hit the like button. Let's get to 200 likes really, really quickly. Check your renewals and check your primes. See if you can't add to the goal over here. A little bit of a contest between the 2 platforms, and you can have my wife and I playing some BL this week. In the lead up to Yōtei, maybe we'll play some Tsushima together. I think you guys would find that to be fun. I'm playing Ghost of Tsushima now for the first time. The game is amazing. Selecting different weapons to do different fighting stances is truly an evolution. I totally agree with you. I think Ghost of Yotei gameplay has evolved what you do in Tsushima significantly well. It's a female protagonist. In Yōtei, yes, it is. I had a blast playing Lords of the Fallen version 2.0. My only gripe is the bosses were way too easy to beat. Really? You think the bosses were too easy? Huh. That's interesting. With Tsushima, the story evolved into something greater. And they say that about Ghost of Yotei. In a few minutes here, I'll go through my script and I'll explain it to you. I'll explain it to you. I think great gameplay could carry Ghost of Yotei even if the story's just okay. Well, the question that set this off was somebody was saying, well, is it going to fall prey to the Spider-Man 1 versus 2, phenomenon? And I'm like, where like, not phenomenon, but like the story in Spider-Man 1, I think was better than Spider-Man 2, and a lot of people kind of thought that. You are hyping this leftist feminist game? No, I'm not. I'm excited for a video game. I don't know what the frick you're talking about, but that's not what I'm doing. You guys know me. A white guy raised super conservative, 2 degrees from seminary, and I am absolutely hyping a leftist feminist game. Look at this white Christian man. Just laugh at them and move on, boys. They're entertaining. They're fun. Oh, whoo-wee. Good golly. You saw the Marvel 1943 leak? I did. I'm not going to show it, obviously, because it's a leak. And I thought it looked fine. I thought it looked very promising. It's very quick. There's not much to see, but I thought it looked very good. Yeah. Lono has transcended his sheltered upbringing. This is correct. It's leaked gameplay. Yeah, there's leaked gameplay of the Marvel Hydra 1943 game or whatever, Rise of Hydra. Yeah, I'm not going to show it because it was leaked. Yeah. Yep. So, yeah, in just about 4 minutes, I'm going to give you guys my thoughts on the Ghost of Yotei story. I had my concerns, but then we kind of looked into some things that Sucker Punch has said. And after doing my Ghost of Tsushima video, my project, I'm feeling better. I'm feeling better. And a 5-bomb comes in from Jack Garland. Thank you so much, Jack Garland. And he gets us to 313. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Let me do this here. There it is, 56-23. Come on, Purple. Where are you right now? You pre-ordered Yōtei and BF6 this morning? Nice. I like my games only with men. That's right. What got leaked? Gameplay of the Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra game got leaked. That game was going to be canceled? No. That game's going forward. Yeah. No, there was another one that got canceled, Emissary. I think you're confusing it. Wasn't the Black Panther game canceled? I think maybe that's what you're thinking of. Yeah, when it comes to that, Corey, I think the game looks fantastic. I don't see any reason to doubt that it's going to be fantastic. And Joker Quinn is maybe turning over a new leaf. Maybe he's going to be less of a troll with his gifteds, and he's going to maybe try and tempt a 10-bomb here. He's going to bump the line to 314. Either that or he's just taunting Stonespire. He might be taunting Stonespire. Somebody get their 10-bomb ready. There it is. Stonespire does it. He says, hey, I'll take the bait. Somebody drop a 10-bomb as quick as you possibly can before fricking Joker Quinn ruins it. He is the ruiner. The next milestone is 325, and you can secure it for your platform with a 10-bomb. And don't let Joker Quinn ruin it. He's so rude. His little rivalry with Stonespire is something truly villainous. It's truly villainous. Oh my golly. I watched gameplay and came back. It's like 15 seconds. That's right. And Joker Quinn does it. No, he doesn't. Kardak Ren drops the 10-bomb. I'm giving credit. I am giving credit to Kardak Ren and the purple platform. They get credit for it. Joker Quinn, you've ruined nothing. I'm the judge around these parts, and I judge that victory in Purple's favor. Favor and favor, Finnison, Robitussin. I don't know what I'm saying. Thank you very much. And Predator with a VIP, 54 months. Excited for Yōtei. Can't wait to see how this story evolves. And that bumps the line to 327. Thank you for doing a VIP. Somebody on YouTube type !upgrade, and I want everybody to clip the link. Clip the link? I can't talk. Click the link and see if you can upgrade. And I owe a member over here to Purple. I owe a member, I owe 3 members to YouTube as well. Thought you were having a live stroke. There was a half a second where I was like, maybe I am. That crossed my mind. I was like, this could be it for me. You know, this could be the end. And it would be, I think everybody would be well within their rights to blame Joker Quinn. It would be his fault. There it is. There's the upgrade command. I need y'all to click that link, and if you can, upgrade to Member Plus. Get off the $5 gifted tier or get off the gifted tier if you are able, right? If you can swing it, do it. We need to hit that 600 number, 600 Member Plus and above. All right, we're an hour in. Let's do the segment here about Yōtei. Let's talk about the story. Let's talk about the story in Ghost of Yotei, okay? Let's see. I mean, if you're interested in the Silksong voice actors, there's a video right here from Dan Allen Gaming. That thumbnail's just really doing work for him, I bet. All right, let's see here. Ghost of Yotei. Let's get the video up here. We got an official new trailer. Let's do the announcement trailer because it's a little bit longer. There we go. Okay. Let's get the annotation off there. Yeah. There we go. Okay. Let's get this off the screen. Yeah, the coffee can stay. All right, let's go here and make sure we're set. We're set. Hang on a minute. Hang on. Stop the presses. We got a 20 bomb comes in from Pathalon Phoenix, and he puts us 3 away from the next milestone. He's like, "Oh yeah, Twitch, are you mounting a comeback here?" He's like, "It'd be a shame if we jumped it all the way to 80." Jiminy Christmas! Thank you so much. We are now 3 away from the milestone of 350. Thank you so much, Pathalon Phoenix. Guys, make sure you're checking your renewals and your primes. That's an easy way to round this out. I believe I owe YouTube 4 now. 4? No. I will owe them 4 if they secure this one. We're 3 away. We'll see who secures this one. We will see. And a Member Plus renewal from James MC. Yep, I'm going to wait to start my talk. We're like right here on the edge. Oops. There it is, 348. And that's going to bump it to 1. Thank you guys so much if you're on a Member Plus. If you guys use the upgrade command and you upgrade to Member Plus, I count it as 2. Those are doubles. We need upgrades so much. And thank you so much. Stone Spire is going to bump the line to 349. We're 1 away. We'll see if anybody decides to steal it over there on purple. We will see. We're 1 away, so we know Stone Spire is probably going to capstone this one as long as Joker Quinn doesn't beat him to it. He's going to capstone this one, and there it is. There's the 350. All right, now I can get into the let me get into my talk here. All right, let me get into my talk. Let me pause the disruptive things that nobody likes. If you like the fact that I pause those so that we can just keep talking and hanging, hit the like button and say, hey, thanks, Lono. Thanks for pausing those annoying things. And, thank you, Jonathan. Welcome back. 4 months on a gifted. And then Jesse's going to renew a Member Plus and go to 351. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. You are the man. Thank you. And let me know if those are upgrades. If you ever upgrade, I need to know. I want to celebrate it and thank you personally. Yep. Okay. All right. Let's get this off the screen. And let's get into this. And Jesse MC gifts 1 as well. You guys, I'm never going to get to the talk at this point. The malicious generosity here happening, 352. It's like malicious compliance. There it is, 84. There it is. How do I upgrade? Use that upgrade command. I appreciate it. Okay. Thanks a lot for removing those pesky things. I take this off the screen when I do these segments because we do record these. So let's get into it. Let us go full screen. There we go. All right, here we go. Ready? Let's get into this one. Will the story of Ghost of Yotei be too cliche? Revenge stories are cool. We've played a lot of them, right? We've read a lot of them. We've watched countless movies about revenge stories. And some comments from Sucker Punch got me thinking, because I was concerned, especially after playing AC Shadows. I thought, man, this story seems awfully familiar when the trailer for the Yōtei 6 dropped. After rewatching all the cutscenes from Ghost of Tsushima, I've got a really big project coming for this channel, so be on the lookout for a video about Ghost of Tsushima. It's going to be about honor and that story. It really started making me think, man, the story in Yōtei seems like it might be very sort of cliche and stereotypical. Now, somebody in my comments pointed out some things that Sucker Punch had said, and I thought, okay, wait, there could be an excellent story here as well. Now, Sucker Punch said the following: while Atsu's story begins with vengeance, she'll find there's more to her journey than just revenge. Now, they also had the following to say about her wolf pack. There's like a menu in the game called the wolf pack, and you're like expanding your group of people or whatever. And they said this: Atsu will meet unlikely allies and forge connections that help give her a new sense of purpose. Okay, so this is my theory. Tsushima as a game asked the question, what is honor? Is it the code of the samurai, or is it the path that Jin Sakai chooses? Okay, my video is going to discuss that forthcoming. I did a deep dive into the game. It's going to be, 30 or 40 minute long video. It's going to be one of the longest videos I've ever made, okay? I think Ghost of Yotei is going to deal in similar big concepts. But this time, instead of being about honor and thinking about the code of the samurai, since she's not a samurai, she's just a roaming warrior, this one's going to be about vengeance versus justice. And I think her wolf pack is going to aid her in this quest beyond just helping her to find and kill targets. And perhaps her wolf companion is sort of a clue into how this will take shape. She's going to start out kind of as a loner, a ghost-like warrior seeking vengeance, okay? That's kind of how Jin Sakai starts out. He's kind of by himself, but as he starts to procure help from others like Yuna and Ishikawa and the monk and other characters, it was like he got people to help him on his quest. And right here, her guard goes down and the wolf essentially joins her, right? Working with others, forming a quote-unquote wolf pack, will elevate her view of the world. No longer sort of just seeing her abilities and her combat prowess as a means to just enact revenge, but as a way of becoming part of something bigger and working for justice instead of just working out her own vengeance and her own revenge. This is how she will become the Ghost of Yotei. Something more than an onryo, which an onryo is a vengeful spirit within like Japanese folklore, okay, which is a ghost, sort of like Jin Sakai, and an onryo is just this vengeful spirit out for revenge, but will then become something more than a vengeful spirit, will become a ghost, similar to Jin Sakai, one that seeks justice and the protection of others. I think this is a way to elevate the story. This is a way to elevate her character beyond somebody who's just like, well, you killed my family and now I'm coming to kill you. This is obviously just a theory, but I'm trying to kind of piece together the fact that Sucker Punch has spoken to this and said, listen, her story will start out as one of vengeance. It will start out as one where she's sort of bent on revenge, but it's going to become more than that. And the reason that I think this is so important is some games recently, when you play the sequel, you feel like the story's not as good as the first. I actually thought the story in Ragnarok was pretty much equal to 2018, but I felt Spider-Man 2's story wasn't quite as good as the first. So the concern I have here would be, oh man, are we going to get a bit of a downgrade in the story department and just play something that's a little bit more cliche? But that, again, that's just my theory. This game is going to deal with vengeance and justice, similarly to how the first game dealt with big topics about honor, but that's just what I think. I'd love to know what you think. All right, chat. What do you think? We kind of came up with this theory yesterday. I wanted to flesh it out a little bit more. I wanted to kind of like look at what some of the people were saying and some of the comments that got left on my video. I wanted to kind of look at what Sucker Punch had said about Ghost of Yotei gameplay, and I thought, I actually think this could be a very good story. I think this could end up being a story that is dealing with bigger topics. That's why the first game, I feel like, was so enjoyable. It wasn't just like, oh, liberate the island, right? Yeah, liberate the island. Yeah, that's what you're doing. You're just saving people. It was like, no, this is so much bigger than that. His journey was pretty significant. Vengeance and Justice, is she Batman? I think dealing with topics like vengeance and justice can certainly, you know, touch on things that get dealt with in Batman and Batman games, Batman comics and movies and things like that. But I think Ghost of Yotei could deal with it in a way that makes it separate and branches from just like, yeah, she's just here to kill you. Like, that's her job now, is to find these people and kill them. Because like, you're going to end up with like, you know, a way to, you know, people could be like, hey, I need your help. Can you go kill this person for me? Can you go kill that person for me? And it's like, well, then she would just become like a mercenary for hire or like a bounty hunter or something. And I think that would be way less interesting. Jin's journey to becoming the ghost, right? His journey to becoming the ghost is significant. She similarly needs to have a journey where she becomes a ghost. She's going to start out as a vengeful spirit, and I think she's going to become a ghost of Yotei. Like, she's going to transcend just like, oh, I'm just angry that these people did this to me and my family. Based on the interviews, I agree with you, Lono. This game is going to be gas. I appreciate that. Thank you. They should add co-op and let your partner play as the wolf. I mean, I obviously joked about that earlier. There was a Ghost of Yotei interview where the guy took like rapid fire questions and basically said that no, you would not be able to control the wolf. Here, I owe YouTube 5 members. Guys, thank you so much to anybody that renewed today or upgraded today. I greatly appreciate it. Again, try to let me know in chat if you do that. I am going to go ahead and drop a 5 bomb right now. I think I owe you guys like 3 or 4. I'm just going to bank error in your favor. Instead of doing a bunch of singles, I'm just going to drop a 5 bomb on chat to say thank you for being here and thank you for being generous to the show and to me and to what we do here. The member plus and above number is at a rock solid 500. And Jesse, actually, it's telling me Jesse upgraded and Dr. Pimp upgraded recently. Thank you guys for upgrading. 6 days ago, Kaiser Soze and Hangry Higgs upgraded. So it's been a while since we've had some upgrades, but just today and yesterday we had Jesse and Dr. Pimp upgrade. So thank you guys for doing that. I appreciate that so much. The quote said, she said deserves points that we see this morning. The quote she said deserves points that we seen this morning. I'm not sure what you're saying. What did she say in the video this morning that you think points to that? Right? Kind of curious. Start with revenge and gradually lean towards justice. Exactly. Like, I think that's going to be a great journey for her. Because, again, we've played the game and watched the movie and watched the shows. Like, plenty of revenge stories are out there. And actually, then I need to add Dr. Pimp and Jesse. I need to bump this up to 354 then, guys. Thank you so much. I need to double your contribution to the... Oops. I need to double your contribution to the total because anytime you guys upgrade, that's what that does. So thank you so much. Encourage more people to do that. You know, encourage more people to use that upgrade command. Yeah, Dr. Pimp. That's right. Here, I'm just going to go ahead and do that. Thank you guys so much for keeping the chat lively and positive. FF16 with Torgal. Yeah, Torgal was pretty cool. I think in Ghost of Yotei, you're going to be able to tell the wolf to do stuff. I think you're going to be able to, like, yeah, go attack that person. I don't think you're going to be able to, like, move them around with the controller, but you'll be able to, like, tell them to attack somebody. I listen to you and use you as background noise while I'm at work right now. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that very, very much. if you guys watch on YouTube and you enjoy, morning coffee, green room, streams with my wife, always encourage chat to consider that. Like, it's one thing for me to say it, but then it just kind of sounds like I'm, like pleading with folks. Like, I don't want to do that. You guys can also let folks know, like, hey, why do you like being at that level of support? Ghosts forge their own path. Oh, right. So she says in the latest trailer that ghosts forge their own path. And Stone Spire would love to see a 20 bomb. Let's see if somebody can do it. We're at 355. The next milestone is 375. Somebody do it quickly. You only have so many seconds to do the 20 bomb before Joker Quinn ruins it. We need a command on purple that pops up on YouTube that says YouTube sucks. No, we do not. Still no Dying Light. The Beast reviews. Playable in 30 minutes. Oof. Unfortunately, I don't think so. The devs have described the wolf as its own entity, and it will instinctively protect Atsu, but I don't believe it will answer to commands. It comes and goes as it pleases. Okay, let's go to the interview. Let's go to the interview and see what he says, because he gets this question, and he speaks to it specifically, and I thought for sure he made it sound like you would be able to control this. Why is this in my... Oh, that's not my... I need to search my history. Hang on. I saw a video that, I did not watch. Here we go. 125 rapid-fire questions. We can use AI. Where does he talk about the wolf? Okay. He confirms there's something up with the wolf and that it cannot be directly controlled, nor can it attack the player or be attacked by the player. Okay, so it looks like around 8 minutes. Okay, here we go. Let's see what he has to say here, and I'll pause the music. All right, let's see what he has to say here.
But that wolf?
There is something up with that wolf.
Is there a skill tree for the wolf? It's not in the menu. It certainly looked like it, right? You're pausing. You're just drinking more of that truth serum, so you should be just spilling it out.
I'm shooting myself in the foot.
Is the wolf directly controllable? Am I hitting a button to say attack now?
No.
Can the wolf attack you?
It would never.
Can you attack the wolf?
No.
Is the wolf technically always following you around? Like, if I'm on the horse just hoofing it through some flowers and I look in the woods, can I see the wolf chasing me technically at all times?
No. I mean, the wolf is always there, but just out of sight.
So technically it's teleporting around a little bit.
Have you ever actually followed a wolf around out in the forest? How do you know that it's not kind of getting warped around? I'm not a biologist, but...
Does the dog die? I remember what you did with that horse. Interesting. No comment.
I love wolves.
Are there any other...
If they kill the wolf, I'm going to uninstall only after I beat it and have gotten my fill of the game. I would never do that. I will play this a lot.
Animals in the game that are as important as the wolf is in this game?
Oh, yeah. You've got a horse. My favorite feature that no one will ever notice is that you can hit the jump button while riding the horse, and the horse will jump over things and get a bit of a speed boost. I love being able to jump and air steer on the horse. It makes the horse feel so good.
So there's no reason that the world of Ghosts and the world of Infamous can't be the same world, right?
I've never thought about that ever, but yeah, sure.
Can you rank the Infamous games?
Infamous 1.
Okay, so I stand corrected. I misheard that part about not being able to directly control the wolf. Like, you literally can't even say, like, hey, go attack that enemy. Like, the wolf's just going to kind of be around. So, the only thing we know now is that the wolf potentially joins you we're talking about Ghost of Yotei. It sounds like the wolf will join you for, like, a standoff. And... that's that. Outside of that, nothing's been really confirmed other than the fact that he's just kind of around. He operates when you're in combat. Yeah, it is interesting that they decided to give you a wolf companion without the ability for you to, like, throw something, point, whistle, or whatever to control it. I guess maybe in their mind they want the game to be grounded enough in reality that, like, that really wouldn't happen. Like, the idea that there's some mystical wolf, like, there's a wolf following you around and helping you is probably close enough to how, like, the Ikishima DLC was the Ikishima DLC was a, slightly mystical thing where there was the drugs and stuff, where it's like, wait, what's going on with your character, right? Wolf's just a homie to help you out at times. Yeah, I obviously was kidding around back when I was like, oh, it'd be cool if it was co-op. It'd be cool if like somebody could control the wolf. I just assumed when they give you that kind of an animal companion, you'd be able to control it to a certain degree. But again, that interview basically says no. Makes the wolf a lot less interesting. At some level, there still is a wolf skill tree. So there's going to be some elements of maybe not direct control, but like maybe your bond gets stronger with the wolf and he helps you more often. Or maybe there'll be like low health thresholds where like if you get hurt too much, the wolf shows up. Or maybe when the wolf first shows up, he's really random, and then you unlock the ability to have him like join you in a standoff or something. Not obviously like in a duel or anything like that. That would be obviously very strange. But wolf's going to be Atreus from God of War, but you could control Atreus, and you cannot control the wolf to any degree according to the interview. Being able to control it would cheapen the game. I was thinking like on a very significant cooldown when in stealth or something, you'd be able to like have him go bite somebody or cause a distraction. So he would be more like a pot that you can throw or a smoke bomb. Not something that you could just do whenever you want. It would be like something that like rhythmically you would have as like just an option to like make him distract or something. So it's not a big deal. That was certainly not the reason that, I was buying Ghost of Yotei. You prayed it would be co-op. I thought it would have been hilarious. Probably not worth the dev time, because if you think about the primary crux, like when you're playing like through Ghost of Yotei gameplay and you're sort of thinking through what the content loop is going to look like, it probably wouldn't have been that conducive to consistent gameplay to just have like another person running around as the wolf. I was obviously being a bit silly. It would have been fun, just to have like a companion, person with you, running around, like, running in and doing stuff. But it's not that big of a deal. Primarily when you buy a game like Ghost of Yotei, at least when I buy a game like Ghost of Yotei, I'm buying it for the combat system and the story. So, am I going to stream more BL4 gameplay? We've been thinking long and hard about that. I do a lot of, shows and uploads, and I'm trying to do it all. And me slowly playing through Borderlands 4 and clearing the map, I don't think that's very good content. I'm also on YouTube right now, so the difficulty is anytime I'm doing that, I'm also making content for the YouTube channel, which long runs of gameplay on YouTube have traditionally been very harmful to us, because that's not what I'm known for. I'm known for talk shows like this, and then I'll jump into a game on its launch date. And I'm also enjoying playing through the game with my wife on my couch. And I feel like if I'm slowly clearing the map and playing through the game with you guys, I'm gonna get burned out. I think it's better suited for me just to play the game on the couch with my wife. If I come up with some opinions and some thoughts about the game, I'll make some videos about it. But for now, I just don't think it was productive because of the way that I was playing it. If it was a more linear game, I think it would have been worth, continuing with. But because of how much I was enjoying it, I ended up creating what I felt was not very high caliber, high value content. It felt like it was not worth making. I'm trying to really push myself to make higher and higher caliber content, which is why I just put together a very long video about Ghost of Tsushima that we're hoping we'll have ready for next week. It took me a long time. I put a lot of work into it. And, I want to start to do more content like that, as opposed to like long-standing, long runs through games on the channel. I don't think that's something that our time is best spent on. I like spending time with you guys. Like if we do an end of the day green room or something, or, something like that comes out, like new games or something. Obviously that's something I want to do as well. So it's like, if we're going to spend time doing something, I don't think that's the best use of our time as a community. Because I also don't get to interact with you guys as much. I was thinking of replaying Ghost of Tsushima, but that's too much work. I was going to replay Ghost of Tsushima in the lead up of Ghost of Yotei to make that video for you guys, and I'm so glad that I decided to just watch a supercut instead. I would have never, and I mean never, been able to get through it. It would have taken too much time. It took me long enough just to watch the supercut and like write up my notes. So, I absolutely love BL4. Completed the story last night. Started co-op run with a buddy on a new character. We both agree to start fresh, not on a new 30. Really? I don't know if I'd be able to run through that story again. But to each their own. You know? To each their own. Guys, the 20 bomb dunker was not ruined, so it's still dangling there. Stone Spire is extremely, extremely faithful, and he loves to set those up. So, now's your chance. Agreed, it's a fairly long game. Oh, yeah, I forgot how long it was. When I was watching the Tsushima supercut, I was like, wow, this is a long game, you know? It takes a chunk to complete it. Why did people want Jin to be the wolf? I understand people wanting there to be a strong connection between Ghost of Yotei and Ghost of Tsushima. Like, I totally get that. I totally understand where they're coming from. I don't necessarily think that is of the utmost importance. I think what matters most is that they tell an excellent story and that the combat system is really, really strong and thoughtful. Like, does that make sense? Like, I think we talked about this recently when we were kind of comparing, you know, BF6 and COD. And I was saying, just make a really, really good BF, right? Just make a really good Battlefield. Like, just make a really, really good Ghost of Yotei. You don't need to, like, forcefully attach it to Tsushima. I like that they decided to separate the games by a bunch of time so that there's no real chance. Now Jin Sakai will be mentioned in Ghost of Yotei. Now, what took place in Ghost of Tsushima will not be referenced. It will not be referenced. But I believe that he basically confirmed in the interview that they will be, there will be a reference to Jin. There's a new wave of bots now on Twitter where they're like, yo, man, I see you going live all the time. What's your schedule? And it's like, yeah, sure. I want her to find stories about Jin across the map like a legend. I think that's his presence in the game. If Jin Sakai has any presence at all in Yotei, I think that's what it will be. I think it will be, legends and stories and whispers of what he did. And I think after you watch my video next week about Ghost of Tsushima, you'll be very clear on why that would work. Why it would work that, like, his legend would pass, years and years and years would go by. So, yeah, apparently they mentioned, like, another playable character. I don't quite know what that means. I don't know why there would be another playable character. Again, I don't know if they would do something with co-op or something. I just don't know. I know in Ghost of Yotei Legends, you will be able to do co-op because it's going to be the same as, like, how Tsushima Legends worked. But I don't know if they're going to be like, yeah, play through the game together. I just realized we aren't going to get a cool clan samurai armor for Yotei. I'm out. Yeah, something that they've definitely not shown off in the trailers at all is her donning any sort of clan or samurai-like armor. That they definitely, it seems like maybe that'll be something that happens. I mean, I don't know if I want this or not, but if somehow the Sakai armor got passed down to her, that'd be crazy. But it'd be 300 years old. It wouldn't be very good armor at that point. Like, I don't know how long that armor would preserve and be usable. But like 300 years later, it would be like, huh? You know, if somebody wanted to like pass it to her, I could see maybe the mask, you know, maybe the mask that he dons from his father's armor set. I could see that. But outside of that, I would be weird for them to be like, yeah, this Sakai armor has been passed down and somehow preserved, you know, and some old man would give it to you or something. His ghost gear. Yeah, the Clan Sakai armor that he wears, like from his dad, I think would be the most iconic to pass down. But I don't know if they're going to do that, because I think that would be, it would be odd to do that. If you guys have been enjoying the show, make sure you've hit the like button. You guys that are watching on YouTube, we're only about an hour and a half in. Thank you so much for the strong turnout today. The like button really does help us out, and you guys can help us with that. And then if you're watching on Purple, you can help us get back to our level 1 sub point. We need 7 more subs to do it. That can't be primes or gifted though, so we need folks to be picking up subs over there on their own. Primes help, gifteds help, but the sub point thing, we need 7 more folks to just stand up and grab a sub, or just renew. Maybe yours has fallen off and you got to renew it. It'll be perfect for her since the setting is the Warring States period. Did you get either the limited edition controllers or plates? I did the collector's edition of Yōtei. I didn't do any of the Ghost of Yotei plates or controllers or anything like that. So, yeah. And guys, double check that YouTube's not acting funky. The like count didn't go up, which is always a little strange. I'm going to check it on my end as well. That does help us out. I just bumped it to 239. I'm going to refresh and make sure that it's saved. It did. Okay. Same, you did the collector's edition? Yeah. There may be a huge epilogue opening scene where you're playing as one of her family members. Maybe. Oh, with the playable flashbacks, I didn't even consider that could be one of the ways that there's other playable characters that where you're not playing as Atsu. I mean, that is certainly possible. Are we ever going to get plates for the Pro? I don't know if they've said anything about it. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think the issue that they probably run into there is there are way more base models in circulation, and because there's way more base models in circulation, they're like, it's better to make those. Like, there's the demand for Yōtei plates on Pro is probably not strong enough, would be my guess. That would be my assumption. Feed says, they say when you level up, the wolf stays with you. So it sounds like you can increase your bond, like, with the wolf. It sounds like to me. Like, your bond with the wolf will be increasing as you play through the game. Don't the standard plates fit? No, that was disproven. I think the bottom one might work, but the top one won't. It's not the right size or shape. The shape is different. Yo, it's good, Mike on the mic. Of course, I got the Ghost of Yotei controller because I'm a gamer stan who loves that kind of stuff. We'll probably not even use a controller. Yeah, I pumped the brakes on the controllers in the collector's editions for the most part, but I had to get the Yōtei collector's edition. I've skipped a lot recently. I've got, let's see if it's working. Yeah, my camera's working. So I've got a lot of a lot of the collector's editions over here. So I've got Doom Guy. That was from Tainted Grail. That is from Ragnarok. That's Thor's hammer, and then that's Venom. And I just kind of pumped the brakes. I took the Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. The Tainted Grail and the Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 ones were sent to me by the developers. So that was really kind of them to do that. So, yeah, the Yōtei mask will end up over there. Reforge Roast is over there. Sprecher Soda's over there. My Legos are at the top. Some Legos down here at the bottom. So, appreciate the folks that have sent those Legos over the years off the wish list. That was very kind of you. If you're coffee drinkers, check out the coffee. Use the coffee command. And again, guys, I'm not really sure what's going on with YouTube. The like count moved by 3. There's no way that's accurate. Make sure it's not being squirrely. We're trying to hit 300 likes. That is That is hugely helpful when you're lurking and enjoying the show. Take a quick second. I'm not sure what YouTube's doing. The platform's been acting up. We got other news stories we'll be talking about shortly. Ghost of Yotei was kind of the lead topic today. Collaborations are starting to roll out nowish. Should be available to all channels over the next several weeks. Yeah, I'd like to know when we're going to get the vertical horizontal streaming rollout. When will multi-aspect streaming open up? YouTube Liaison said, beginning to test nowish and currently planning to expand over the coming months. Sometimes I wish they wouldn't announce stuff like that until it's like ready to go. Because I get like, you get excited for it and you're like, oh, I can't wait. And then it becomes this big, like, mysterious soon thing. Like, soon TM. I don't know. What if the wolf and other animals in Ghost of Yotei are your fallen family members reincarnated? So, Ghost of Tsushima did not have that level of mysticism in it. And I don't think Ghost of Yotei will either. I don't think it will. Yeah. I think sometimes they'll let you assume that there's an element of mysticism. I'll give you an example. There's a pretty poignant part in Tsushima, and you'll see what I think about this in my video next week, where they introduce the wind mechanic, okay? It is softly mystical. It's like, well, was that somebody helping Jin, like, guide him, I would think that in Ghost of Yotei, if they're like, yeah, maybe Atsu says something about, like, thinking it's her dead dad or a relative or something, she might, like, think that or view it that way. I don't think they would ever explicitly be like, oh, yeah, it's a reincarnated family member. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, the level of mysticism and the mystical nature of Tsushima, I would say it's very, very thin. It's not very strong. Even when you do the Ikishima DLC, even then, it's the drugs. Like, you're not really seeing, like, spirits and things. Birds land on Jin's hand. Yeah, and you play the music for the monkeys and stuff. Yeah, Ghost of Tsushima did have mysticism. Jin has a special relationship with nature through his mother. And as you're describing it now, the guiding wind was a representation of his father. Birds land in Jin's hand. Yeah, but I don't think there will be ever reincarnation. Yeah, it was never explicitly stated. It's like it's there, but it's almost like there in a poetic interpretation way. Like, you could interpret it as, oh, that's his dad or that's his mom, or it's just him seeing them in those things, right? The way that he does his haikus, he looks at nature. He sits and sort of like, meditates and looks at the rivers in the sky and the mountains and things. Like, I don't know. I don't think because they don't explicitly state it, it feels very much like they're attempting to, like, softly nudge, like, yeah, there's some strange things going on. There is some other Ghost of Yotei things that have come out that I didn't include in the video, but Insider Gaming released a complete Ghost of Yotei trophy list, how to get all achievements and trophies. I am not going to look at that, but all the trophies, like, just scrolling very quickly, so nobody gets any spoilers, right? That's a pretty good amount. So if you're hoping it's a substantive game, it looks like it's going to be a pretty sizable amount of things to work on there if you're one of those folks that likes to chase the things, all of the things. Tsushima was such a peaceful game. I used to just log in and walk around. Yeah, you could do that. You could sit in a hot spring. Yeah, they did confirm that you're going to be able to see some booty cheeks in this. They did confirm that. So, yeah, no. Just watch Weapons. I missed this. I'm still wondering why the rave reviews. The movies went over my head. Pass from me. That is so random. Oh, that's 512. Yeah, 512. You're way off on another subject. We're not talking about movies or TV shows here. I just love walking through the forest in that game. Yeah, with the leaves falling and the wind blowing. Like, there was definitely a vibe to Tsushima. And it does feel like Ghost of Yotei is going to continue that. It does. So, it doesn't seem like they're going to move away from the meditative, contemplative, sort of, relaxing vibes of the first game. It seems like that's going to be a continuation. Step aside, Expedition 33, Game of the Year, Ghost of Yotei. Yeah, you're going to be able to see some cheeks, That is, it's true. Lo-fi soundtrack, definitely vibing. Okay, let me shift gears here. Well, not necessarily shift gears, but we do have other stories and things we want to make sure that we're covering so they end up with a timestamp in the show. And I thought the Mind's Eye thing was sad, but also kind of funny. So I don't know if you guys saw this. The Mind's Eye actor believed game's flop could end his career. Alex Hernandez, the face, voice, and body behind Mind's Eye's Jacob Diaz, recently appeared on a podcast to talk about his career, and that naturally included a segment on Build a Rocket Boy's failed third-person shooter. In a candid breakdown, Hernandez revealed his concerns around the launch and the reception of Mind's Eye, rated as one of the worst games ever released. It is his belief Mind's Eye intense failure had the potential to derail his career permanently. In 2016, he played the lead role of Link and Clay in Mafia 3, a game that suffered immeasurably at launch from bugs and optimization issues. It was seen as a pitfall of the series by many, and the flawed open-world model it offered was pulled back for the recent launch of Mafia: The Old Country. Fast forward to 2025, he's fronting Mind's Eye, yet another failed game. It prompted the actor to question whether he has some ethereal ability to kill that which he touches. During a recent episode, he explained, "I'm not a superstitious man. Do I have like the opposite of the golden touch? Like the crap brown touch?" He said, "Everything I touch turns to poop." Thank you, Games Radar, for the spot. He went on to talk about the launch of Mind's Eye, specifically addressing his innermost thoughts about his future on a very real level. "I was like, I might never work in a game again. One of the caveats of being the face on the box is that the people, rightly or wrongly, will associate all of their opinions and, more importantly, their emotions about the game with my face." The quote can be found in a 45-minute mark in the recent FRVR podcast, and that's going to take me to Spotify if I click on that. Mind's Eye has a critic rating on Metacritic of just 37 and a user score of 2.4. It's the lowest rated game of 2025, falling behind Tamagotchi Plaza, Ambulance Life, and Captain Blood. So there you have it. Understandably, he's a little worried that could mess with his career. Hopefully it doesn't. Hopefully it doesn't. That would be terrible for him to not be able to get work anymore because of that stupid game. He does have a good point. I feel an instinctive urge to punch him in the face. That's not kind. It's unfortunate too because like they some of the screenshots and stuff they make him look terrible. They make him look terrible. They make him, look extremely derpy. Yeah. So hopefully it doesn't hurt his career. Too bad. His dumb, stupid face. Where is he? If you guys are just tuning in on YouTube, make sure and take a quick second, hit the like button. He was in Peripheral on Amazon. He is the police character. Great show and role. So you're saying the Bubsy collection has a higher rating than Mind's Eye? It's possible. It's possible. It's very possible. Mind's Eye reminds me of a game that I'd play at the Nickelodeon Suite Hotel, the one place where they had the PS2 in the suite. Yeah, I don't know. Haircut was trash in Mind's Eye. I think the least of his worries is his haircut in Mind's Eye. I think that's the least of his worries. He's not the guy. He's not the guy that the streamer that wrote on God of War. Huh? I don't know what you're saying, Jay. I do not know what you're saying. All right, our other segment that I wanted to give a little bit of time today that I thought would be fun and a little hilarious is and I may end up using this, so we'll see. I'll record this here. Let me turn off the member count. Let me turn off the member goal. If you guys do memberships during this segment, I'll add them after the fact. But we're gonna be talking about Silksong. Is Silksong harder than Elden Ring? I thought this would be funny. Gene Park is out here taking his life in his own hands here. So we're gonna take a crack at this one off the cuff, more reaction style. I don't have a script, so you guys can definitely be a part of this. This is not the Cuphead guy. No, Gene Park's not the Cuphead guy. Okay? No, he is not. So is Silksong harder than Elden Ring? This is a debate that is brewing, and we have Gene Park to thank for this. Thank you, Gene. He said Silksong is way, way harder than Elden Ring. He's putting 2 ways on this, so you know he's being serious, obviously, with his Kirby avatar. I mean, Gene is a very serious guy. So Silksong is way, way harder than Elden Ring. And obviously, this is causing a lot of disagreement, but there are people that are agreeing. And so he says, so to clarify, let's come down here. So to clarify, harder is too broad of a term. Specifically, Silksong demands a wider and stricter set of skills than Elden Ring does. You need to be good at platforming, good at fighting, maybe even good at navigating bullet hells. Elden Ring mostly needs you to be good at fighting. Now, there were some people that disagreed with him, and essentially one of the people that disagreed said, there is such a breadth of tool sets and combat options in Elden Ring, it's significantly harder. I actually feel like that works against the argument. I actually think in Elden Ring, because of the significant amount of combat options that you have, people have proven that you can make Elden Ring very easy if you use the appropriate magic build or summons that actually sort of pushes down, you know, the difficulty. And what is being said in chat right now is very helpful from Wire Rope. You can over level in Elden Ring, which is something that you can't do in Hollow Knight. You can't be like, well, this boss is really tough, I'm going to go over level. Now, difficulty comes in different ways, so these games are not one-to-one comparable, but I would argue from everything I've seen, I actually think the difference between Elden Ring and Silksong isn't that one is harder than the other. It's that you can't really soften the difficulty in Hollow Knight Silksong. I feel like you can do that in Elden Ring if you know what you're doing, if you know how to approach certain things. And also, Elden Ring doesn't have runbacks, so it automatically wins there, right? Stake of Marika makes Elden Ring far and away a better game to Silksong. I'm obviously being a little tongue-in-cheek here because I hated the runbacks in Silksong. It literally made me put the game down because I was enjoying the boss fights. Like, they nerfed one of the fights that I had just beat. I beat it pre-nerf, and I thought, the fights aren't the problem. The fights are fun. They're challenging. They're good. You know, it's the runback that is the problem. And Gene's going to touch on this. He says, you can simply level up in Souls games. Silksong, you either download the boss and understand how it fights, or you are stuck. And he says, and I say this as someone who does not think Silksong is that hard and did not struggle, LOL. I can still take a step back and realize one game is more demanding than another. So what do you guys think here? Weigh in. Cobra saying, the only thing I will say is I suck at Souls games and I was able to beat Elden Ring. You can get OP weapons and magic that helped me a lot, so there is some truth to it. I think that adds credence to what I'm trying to say is I don't think one game is harder than another, but I do think one empowers you to soften the difficulty or lower the difficulty simply by over leveling or getting the appropriate kit. Now, there are different things you can get and equip in Silksong to help with certain things, but you're never going to make yourself like stronger or have a magic spell or a summons that will then make some fights incredibly easy. Like when I got to the back half of Elden Ring on my first playthrough, I was allowing Black Knife Tiche or Tish or however you're supposed to say it, Black Knife Tiche Summonable was fighting bosses for me. I mean, I was getting through fights like Melania by basically not engaging in the fight. Jesse says, it seems like most people are complaining about the difficulty, didn't get very far into the game, very few tools, very few crests, no crest upgrades, etc. My issue was not the difficulty. I've got a video on the channel right now being like, the difficulty is not the problem. To me, it's the tedium, it's the pain, it's the punishment. What's interesting is if you go read any negative review or you watch any of the negative reviews on YouTube, they all agree with what I'm saying. It's not that it's too difficult. They think the fights are fun. They think the challenge is enjoyable. It's the tedium, it's the run back, it's the currency, it's the punishing nature of the game that they don't like. I think if you can categorically slice those two things, you might see why some people have just sort of mentally checked out with respect to Hollow Knight Silksong. They're not like, oh, I'm not good enough. They're like, I can't get in the headspace to enjoy this level of pain and punishment. You've really got to have some level of maybe sadism to be like, dude, step on me, punish me, make me feel miserable, and then you're somehow enjoying that. Like, I get it. I think it's a masterpiece. I think that the developers have built something very special, and obviously I think some of the most special games prompt debate and they prompt disagreement, and I think this is one of those disagreements. And everybody's got their sort of cliche, like people are like, get good, just get good. My issue with when a game is going to be punishing and it's going to have tedium baked into it, to me, it's not really a question of skill. Sometimes it's more a question of endurance and patience. You got through the jumping section, you got through the platforming section. Hopefully you want to do that 10 or 15 more times in order to keep trying the boss, right? And people are like, well, the bosses aren't even that hard, or the bosses, if you were beating them faster, you wouldn't have to do that. I read a handful of reviews and even listened to a couple where they said some of the bosses only took them 3 or 4 tries, but the runbacks really soured the experience. And what it does is it kind of corrupts the exploratory nature of the game. And I've said in a couple of different places, in a couple of different these debates, I feel like it's more of a 2D Souls game than a Metroidvania. It feels more like a Souls game than a Metroidvania. And I think the reason for that is it really, really capitalizes on the feeling of pain, the feeling of run back, pinching the player with respect to currency, right? If you're going to be running out of currency or getting to a new area or dealing with certain aspects of unlocking the benches and things like that. One of the reviews even said they specifically have you go through an area where they're not giving you a lot of beads, and then you get to the spot, and if you don't have enough beads for the bench, like, it's sort of punishing you and teaching you this is a punishing world, right? In my estimation, the judgment from people that they want the game to be in line with the lore and the feel and the story, I actually think that that's fair. From an artistic standpoint, the developers, if they want to keep this game ruthless and punishing, and they don't want to fix things with bead currencies, they don't want to fix things with runbacks, if they want to keep the game as is, and they feel like the pain, the punishment, the tedium, the misery, if they feel like that's in line with the game's story and the game's vibe and the game's feel, I think they have every right to do that. If they determine that maybe some of the rough edges of the game, maybe some of the sharp edges of the game aren't worth preserving, and they decide to maybe get rid of the runbacks, and maybe they just let you retry some of the, some or all of the fights so you can just jump back in, that would pull me in immediately. I would come right back if you got rid of runbacks. Maybe they decide to curb some of the things with the currency. Maybe not. If they determine that the game is going to largely stay true to the one that they delivered at launch, and they don't want to tweak stuff and they don't want to fiddle with stuff, if they feel like it's being true to the lore and the story, I totally respect that. I would just say it's a game that I can't get to a headspace where I can enjoy it. The tedium, the pain, the punishment really works against the fun factor. To me, the issue was not difficulty. It was the issue of feeling more like a Souls-like than a Metroidvania. But is it harder than Elden Ring? Is it harder than other Souls-likes? You guys can obviously let me know, because I love hearing from you guys about these certain subjects. So the Dying Light, the Beast review scores are coming in. We can take a look at those and see how it's doing. It's looking like it's landing low 80s. Dying Light, the Beast, Metacritic. That probably means it's going to slip into the 70s immediately. Yep, it already has. 78 on PC, 74 on the 5 on PS5. So it's probably not going to be a game changer of a game. It'll probably be fine, for people that were looking forward to it. Which I think is largely all it really needed to do. I don't necessarily think, I don't think it needed to be like a game changer. I don't think necessarily people looking to play like a Dying Light game are necessarily looking for that. So I'm not telling devs how to make their games, but Cuphead's difficulty hurt sales. The art style was so awesome, but it turned so many people off for being crazy hard. I mean, I could totally understand that, hurting a game's sales, but if that's the game they wanted to make, I don't think there's necessarily a problem with that. That's why I said, if the developers decide to, if they decide that, no, this is the game that we wanted to build, we want it to be punishing, we like the tedium, we like the feeling of misery and pain, we think that's in line with the story, we think that's in line with the game and the lore and what we want, I think that's totally fine. It's their game, it's their view. All we can do is provide the feedback and say, this is stuff that we think could have made the game better. This is stuff that we feel like could have made the game more enjoyable. And they can reject, receive, or take some of the feedback. They're well within their right to do that. It is in fact their game. So I don't think there's any problem with that. Let's see here, 122. Cuphead bosses definitely owned me. It took both me and my son to team up to beat the final boss. Wait, Lono, you didn't fast travel in the game? You don't have to run all the way back? You can fast travel with the Bell Beast? You understand that when we're saying run back, like the Bell Beast and the fast travel in the game does not remove run backs. Like, it doesn't. You can fast travel to a handful of locations with the Bell Beast. Like, that does not remove runbacks. A runback is when you're like, hey, I got to this boss or I got to this arena fight and now I died and now I've got to get back to this boss and or arena fight. You can't use the Bell Beast to get back to the fight or the arena. You've got to run all the way back to it. They haven't announced a sequel to Cuphead, have they? No, they have not. They did the Delicious Last Course, the DLC that they added, but they didn't do anything else. Yeah. One more time, guys, a reminder, the like button is so helpful. Let's try to get to 300. Not really sure why the like count's acting goofy all of a sudden. I don't know if it's YouTube's fault or not, or if people are just doing the like edging that you guys like to do. You're like, we're not gonna do it. That is fine. We did that the other day. People kept liking and unliking to get us to 300. Let me pause the thing that nobody likes. There we go. In Zelda, when you die, don't you go to the start of the dungeon? But that was like 40 years ago. I don't think the issue is like, I don't think the issue is like, oh, but we did it and now we shouldn't do it anymore. I think it's a philosophy of like, is it part of the boss fight or not? So in Demon Souls or some of the earlier Dark Souls, they would have said the run back is a part of the boss fight. From a philosophical position, that's what they would have likely said. Okay? I'm not putting words in their mouths. I'm just sort of speculating that they would have viewed the run back as part of the boss fight. It seems as though that became a point of archaic design in the mind of FromSoft as well as others. So whether you play First Berserker Kazan, Lies of P, or you play Elden Ring, generally these are newer games within the genre that are like, we're just going to put you right next to the boss. We don't really see a reason to make you run all the way back. Okay? So Stake of Marika in Elden Ring, any boss fight, you can basically jump right back in and fight him again. Lies of P would literally put your souls outside the arena. I believe Kazan did the same thing, but Kazan always had the checkpoint or the bonfire, whatever you want to call it. It was always right next to the boss arena, so you're able to go right back in. So I think in general, when the consensus is this is not conducive to good game design, let's kind of leave this off the table. I agree with that philosophy. That doesn't make one philosophy correct or one philosophy incorrect. I just think one is more conducive to appropriate and enjoyable difficulty. I don't think having a really frenetic and intense fight where you can die really fast from a simple mistake, I don't think that's a problem. I think it becomes grating as an experience when you die to that and you're like, well, I got to run all the way back here. I don't just have to try to figure this fight out or figure out phase 2 or get better at dodging certain attacks or get better at reading certain telegraphs. I also have to run all the way back here. I do feel I get better at the platforming sections because of the run back. Sure. And again, I'm not saying one philosophy is right or wrong. I'm just saying I tend to agree with the philosophy that says that's just not conducive to what we feel is appropriate difficulty. We want to make the boss fight so crazy, tough, so hard, so tight, so crisp that you want to jump back in and try again when you fail. And instead, they have this other sort of tenacious, tedious prologue to the fight every time. And my enjoyment factor just goes down when you're going to do that. That's me personally saying I don't want to play a game like this. Everybody's got their own preferences. Everybody's got their own approach, to these types of games. That's just my personal opinion on it. That's just my own personal experience of it. Moronic says, I may be in the minority, but if a game does not have difficulty settings for its campaign or its single player story, I don't play it. I don't personally feel a sense of accomplishment in beating a challenging campaign. It just annoys me. I used to feel accomplishment of ranking in the top 1% in multiplayer games like StarCraft, but that was ages ago. I certainly would never advocate for every game to have difficulty settings, but if the difficulty settings are there, I'm definitely getting to that point in my life where I'm like, yeah, just drop it so I can have a good time. I did that in First Berserker Kazan, and I had a great time. I just dropped it to beginner, and it was so fun. It was like this really frenetic action game. It was heavily focused on parries and dodges. I had a great time. If people are going to be like critical of that or make fun of that, or they'll be like, yeah, but you're this or that or the third, I don't really concern myself with these weird labels that people use. It's like I'm here to have a good time. If a game's not fun, I'm not going to keep doing it. It's like, it's why I didn't watch the finale for The Last of Us Part 2, The Last of Us Season 2. I didn't watch the finale. I hated everything they were doing. I was like, you guys completely ruined this. This is terrible. So I was like, I'm not enjoying this. I got better things to do with my time than waste an evening watching your crap show that went all the way off the rails. Never even watched a finale, right? My time's too valuable. It's like, I can't get that time back. I can't get those hours back. So it's like, I'm not going to take the precious you know, non-refundable currency that I have called time, and I'm not going to spend it on something that I'm not enjoying. It all depends on the gameplay systems they have in place. If it's getting a more difficult experience, makes me interact with this. I'll put the difficulty up. Thoughts on Yōtei woke backlash? It's as stupid as all the other woke backlash this year, and it'll have no effect on the game's commercial success, and people will move the goalposts and find out a way to cope with the fact that the game does well, just like they did with AC Shadows. One of the top-selling games this year and the second most financially successful Assassin's Creed in history. It'll be the same with Yōtei. They're just continuing to. It's not about anything genuine. It's an easy way to get clicks and likes and views. These are not genuine positions. It's a grift. Too many games out these days to spin your wheels on just one with runbacks. Please see my tag in Discord on the Silksong versus difficulty. Oh, I think that's probably fair, but I will say something. The difficulty in Elden Ring is true in the base game. However, the DLC is a lot harder, and the DLC exclusive level mechanic only does so much. I still haven't beat the final boss. Oh, yeah. I mean, the DLC in Elden Ring was kind of crazy. Yeah, it was kind of crazy. So, I just read what the CEO said. This is how he talks to people who that bought his game. What CEO are you talking about? You talking about Borderlands? RW friend with 10 months. Thank you so much. Let me add it to the total. Oh, wait. I added you to the wrong side. 8734. Team Cherry? What did the Team Cherry CEO say? You see the Black Flag leak? Covered it yesterday. Yes, it's definitely going to have people split on. Whether or not it's a good idea to go to that route. I'm not seeing anything about Team Cherry's CEO. Does anybody have any info on this? I'm not sure what you're talking about. I don't see anything in trending. I don't see anything when I search for it. Flat flag with anvil will look crazy. It will. These cheeky blanks didn't even get past Act 1, a glorified tutorial, before complaining it was too hard, said Team Cherry's CEO, Ari Gibson. Are you sure he said this? Search Silksong patch. That sounds like something that somebody made up. That doesn't sound like something that would be genuinely said. That seems like somebody's goofing and did like a fake tweet. The second official patch, Silksong patch only nerfs bosses you already beat. We listened and we patched in a new type of experience system in the game called Getting Good. It's an ingenious way of fighting, dying, and learning used by one of the oldest video games ever created. Homie, that's harddrive.net. That's a satire. That's like an Onion gaming outlet. He didn't really say that. You're eating the onion. That's quite literally an outlet that posts like satire, like joke articles. Yeah. I cannot imagine. As I read it, I was like, that's 100% a joke. Fell for it. Yeah. You ate the onion. I was like, there's no way he said that. They already nerfed some stuff. You know what I mean? You can't nerf your game and then say that. I thought it was a hot mic moment. No. Yeah, that would have been really, really weird. They don't strike me as the kind of developer that would say anything like that. If they decided to speak to the game's difficulty in any sort of a defensive way, they would say something to the effect of, you know, it's a game that we really feel embodies, you know, difficulty and struggles and, you know, and everything else. Like it's not meant to be an easy game. I think they would speak rather diplomatically about it. So I was about to ask you on it. Well, I mean, you did. And it's not real. It's fake. Viewer for reals. Yo, what's up? How are you? With that tiny team, they can avoid those PR mishaps most easily. Yeah, I mean, the guy from Larian said, you know, he kind of feels bad for the team at Gearbox. I kind of feel bad for the team at Gearbox as well. Like, it's got to be kind of frustrating to be trying to improve your game and make things better. And Randy's out here doing his darndest to be like, yeah, I'm going to make that terrible, you know? I'm going to ruin all of this. You know, I'm gonna make everybody hate us. Yeah, it's a bummer. Hang on one second. Yeah. Borderlands. Did you guys see this? Borderlands put out this post. You know, they said, "Hey, Vault Hunters, we want to thank you for welcoming Borderlands 4 to the world. It's been less than a week." Here, hang on. Let's go full screen with this. Oh, that'll work. And it's been incredible watching millions dive into Kairos and forge connections with new Vault Hunters. Thank you. We're reading every piece of feedback you share. Some of the things we've already begun to take action are: we know some PC players are running into bugs and crashes. We hear you. Updates to improve stability and performance already started rolling out over the weekend, and another is coming this Thursday. This is our top priority. Field of use slider option for consoles is in testing right now, and more information is coming very soon on that. Some console players have reported concerns with performance, and we're investigating those with planned updates coming. We've been thrilled, but so many of you have been enjoying your time in Kairos. And as a thank you, we also just dropped additional in-game rewards with the Break Free Pack live now. We value your feedback and are committed to delivering an incredible Borderlands 4 experience for all players. I feel like this is definitely a response to what Randy's been doing. Like, they're like, we need some goodwill and some PR back, you know. The game you mentioned, Deep Rock Galactic Survivors, on Game Pass just a day or two ago. Yeah, it's on Game Pass. You guys should definitely play it. The dev actually spoke as to why it's not on PlayStation just yet. They want it to be, and they're going to try and get it there as soon as possible. So, but yeah, if you are on Game Pass, you should definitely check out Deep Rock Galactic Survivor. You guys know me. I don't really like coming into my office to play games, and I put 16 hours into that game on my PC. So That is certainly saying something. Let's get rid. Yeah, there we go. What time is it? Yeah. Well. Got to put a muzzle on Randy. You're speaking with us now. Yeah, I don't know if he's gonna like stop talking because he needs to. He certainly is making things bad for them. I would say he certainly is making things bad for them. No, it's money heading. This is nice to hear. I'm looking forward to the FOV slider. My Series X only experienced issues on long play sessions. Yeah, I had some of the memory leak issues last night on the PS5 Pro. Madam gets disconnected pretty regularly, which is kind of annoying. It will go long sessions without a single problem, and then last night she disconnected like back to back within like 60 seconds. So, what can we expect with the next PS6, next Xbox era? Where's gaming heading? I think gaming is just going to keep doing what it's doing. I think you're going to see a continuation of franchises, like Spider-Man, God of War, and Horizon. I think you're going to see, probably more use of things like ray tracing and lighting systems. I think that'll be probably the focal point. Like, I think a lot of the focal point of like what makes games look better next gen is going to be, is likely going to be the AI, the upscaling, the ray tracing. It's going to be stuff like that, I would imagine. I think you're going to start, and this has been largely backed by Moore's Law is Dead and other leaks and things. I've been saying for a while, you're just going to get depreciating returns from the hardware, so you're going to see GPU companies and console companies, leaning into things like AI, like upscaling, ray tracing, lighting systems, things like that. Ways to make the games look prettier, but not necessarily a situation where you're going to see them like trying to push native anything. So I think that's just kind of the future of where things are headed. I think we'll see that meted out. We'll see that meted out in the marketing. Like that's largely what they're going to focus on. Prettier but less optimized. I don't see evidence for that. I think the optimization actually will become less of a problem when you're on stronger equipment. I mean, that's obviously an issue, but yeah. If you guys haven't hit the like button yet today, we've been trying to get the count to 300. Help us get that like count to 300. And if you got a renewal to celebrate, or you're going to upgrade, or a Prime to use, be sure to do that. And I thought I had one more thing in my gaming newsroom. Oh, yeah. So, I don't know if you guys were paying attention to this, but the lawsuit about the Horizon copy, we got a response from Tencent. Horizon copy makes several changes post Sony lawsuit. Wait, this is old. This is not the article that I saved. Why did they... I'm confused. I saved a different article. I did not read this. Hang on. They responded. Here it is. Yeah, it's right here. I wonder if they took the article down. I can't get it to come up. Oh, no. Here we go. Tencent claps back. That's so weird. I must have scrolled too far and it loaded another article, and then it saved the wrong one. Okay, so Tencent claps back at Sony's PlayStation Horizon clone lawsuit. Okay, so they finally responded. All right. For those unaware, they filed a lawsuit. Light of Materium borrows elements from Horizon. Now Tencent's responded. Okay. According to a report by the Game Post, Tencent has presented a number of points to get rid of Sony's case against the alleged Horizon clone. Their first was that this lawsuit by Sony is not an attempt to ward off piracy, plagiarism, or any genuine threat of intellectual property. Yeah, sure, that's why you changed all your stuff. Instead, it's an improper attempt to fence off a well-trodden corner of popular culture. Yeah. You went to them and wanted to do a Horizon game, and they said no, and you made it anyway. Tencent states that Sony is an impermissible monopoly on genre conventions. Huh? As it tries to transform ubiquitous genre ingredients into proprietary assets. Again, you guys literally copied. Like, it was obvious that you copied. Tencent defends Light of Materium, stating that they are simply incorporating the same time-honored tropes that games released before and after Horizon have used. Yeah, like the entire art style of the game, sure. They provided examples of games like Enslaved, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Far Cry Primal, Far Cry New Dawn, Outer Wilds, and Biomutant. Yeah, I don't think the issue at all was any of the open world tropes or open world adventure tropes of any of this. Yeah, future tribes battling robot dinosaurs is a time-honored trope. Yeah, I don't understand. They obviously knew their game was looking too much like Horizon. That's why they changed a bunch of the stuff in the Steam page, right? They did that in order to prepare for this lawsuit. Now, if you watched Force Gaming's video on this, I thought he did a very, very good job. It's not that it's similar to the existing Horizon games. It sounds like Light of Materium is going to end up being similar to the future Horizon game that's like a multiplayer game where it's kind of like a Manhunt game. And so that, I think, is where the issue lies, is they're concerned that, like, not only does your game look an awful lot like ours, it's also seemingly taking target and aim at the next game that we were building. So that's going to cause, brand confusion within the market. The next defense by Tencent against Sony's lawsuit could be a strong one. They mentioned that Jan Bart Van Beek, the art director of Horizon Zero Dawn, had stated during a behind-the-scenes documentary that Horizon Zero Dawn's game core conceit was already executed by Enslaved Odyssey of the West. Yeah, again, because that wasn't the issue. It was the art direction. The art director has also warned Sony, stating that they shouldn't pursue this idea as it touches too many of the points from Enslaved. Horizon Zero Dawn was shelved for some time, only to be brought back to life by PlayStation later. Their next point was against Sony, stating that Tencent had approached to collaborate on a Horizon title. The statement reveals that no Tencent Holdings executives or employees attended the 2024 San Francisco GDC meeting. They add that even if the attendees could be attributed to Tencent Holdings, Sony has failed to show that this meeting caused any harm to them. No one's saying the meeting caused harm. You were trying and seeking the permission to build a Horizon game, and that's a significant point in the case. They're like, the meeting didn't harm you. Nobody said the meeting harmed you. Tencent adds that Sony has filed a lawsuit against the wrong entities: Tencent America, Proxima Beta US, and Tencent Holdings. These entities are not involved in the development of marketing the Light of Materium. Lastly, they stated that Light of Materium will not be out until 2027, hence Sony's lawsuit is based on hypotheticals. The alleged infringements have not occurred and may, in fact, never occur. Again, that's why they changed the Steam page. In other news, they made several changes to Light of Materium's Steam page after the lawsuit. Right, because if you go and you look, the things that they changed were all of the things that were overlapping. In a world overrun by colossal machines, explore the vast open world, build your base of operations, advance technology, train mech animals, and take on formidable bosses. Starting with the primitive age, forge a new path, blah, 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 right? And now it's make smart use of everything around you to stay alive and face off against formidable bosses. Every step is fraught with danger and requires courage. Only by overcoming the challenges of survival can you carve out a place for yourself in the unforgiving land. So, like, they literally remove all of the language that makes it similar to Horizon. And you're going to try to claim that, like, come on. Like, they weren't. Yeah, key art was also changed. They had key art where the red-haired girl that was looking at the open world, right now the woman's been replaced by two robotic creatures, one that looks like a penguin and the other like a dog. Screenshots were changed. They've not been changed. Their screenshots have been removed. Right? They've been removed. It's like the very thing that you could argue was making the game look similar was literally removed. Enslaved Odyssey is a 2010 action-adventure game, not a survival game developed by Ninja Theory. Right, it's not even remotely... It's obvious that they were directly borrowing art style, art themes, and art vibes from Horizon. Everybody saw it and said the same thing. When the public is literally saying that looks like a Horizon clone, you can argue brand and copyright confusion and harm. You can argue that. Now they could come back and say, well, we scrapped all that, we're not doing that anymore, you're arguing hypotheticals. Well, Sony won't even win the case. I don't think they'll win the case. It's not the point. They got them to literally change the way the game looks and the way the game's being marketed, and that's a win. Because now, whenever that game's being marketed and shown, people aren't going to be like, oh, that's a Horizon clone. They're going to be like, well, that's a completely different game. Look at the artwork, look at the key art, look at how they're promoting it. They literally created Semu Horizon and are made. The original creators are like, nah, you can't make that. No, they're mad. The original creators are like, nah, you can't make that. Yeah, I tend to agree with you. It's like they came to them, wanted to do a Horizon game, got shot down, pushed it out anyway. Everybody called them on what they were doing. It was a blatant ripoff. And Sony files this lawsuit, again, probably not with the intention of winning, but with the intention of saying, you need to change that crap. And they already have. Like, to me, that already means they've won. Sony's already won. It's like that's what they needed. If you go to that game now, Light of Motirum, if you go to the Steam page now for Light of Motirum, it's going to be a lot harder to claim this is some kind of a Horizon clone. You got little cute robots. Now it's far more grounded in a survival aesthetic because you're showing a homestead, right? This, maybe you could argue, is very, very Horizon adjacent, especially when you look over here at the characters. This, nope. This looks kind of like Fortnite. This... no, not really. That could be anything. So, yeah, this has already helped. This has already helped. Now they're saying survive in the wilderness, physics-based building, seamless co-op and crossplay, right? You're not going to run the risk of this looking like some kind of a Horizon-adjacent, Horizon clone game. So the lawsuit's already, in a large respect, it's already done its job. Because the original marketing and materials and key art literally look like a Horizon game. It was like, what the frick is this? So I think they've already kind of got their goal achieved. They might even, at this point, they might even just quietly drop the suit and be like, well, we got what we wanted. I heard Nintendo tried to patent summoning monsters to fight. Okay, the patent that they were granted, if challenged, will never hold up. Nintendo patenting like summoning something to fight for you, that'll never hold up. There's too many games that do that. There's too many games that have that feature, that function, that mechanic. So that's just, it's just never going to hold up. It just isn't. So, can nobody create a game with robot dinosaurs? Is that what's happening? I'm not going to repeat everything I just said. If that's your take, then I don't feel like engaging with a bad faith question. You have to sue every time the courts will let people steal your IP, for sure. Yeah, what Sony is doing is not the same as what Nintendo is doing. Nintendo is trying to patent mechanics so that you can't do it. You can't use those mechanics. That's not the same as saying, hey, your game literally looks like ours. That's going to cause confusion within the market. And then after they file the lawsuit, the company literally changes all of the key art, all the descriptions, right? And that's a win. Because, listen, Force Gaming's video is really helpful on this. Light of Motirum is absolutely not a Horizon clone. If you look at what you can actually do in the game, it's actually not that. It's not like Horizon. Now, the robot, the mech animals are certainly very, very much copies of what you see in Horizon. But the actual gameplay mechanics and the gameplay loop is not. It is not at all. So it's like, if they can get them to change what it looks like within their marketing and within their position on Steam, that, I think, again, that's a win. It's like they don't have to worry about dealing with people being like, wait, is this a Horizon game? You know, like, that was, I think, the concern. Especially because we know they're doing a Horizon multiplayer game. We know they're doing a Horizon game that's going to be kind of like a Monhun game. They're not going to want that game, you know, to be confused with their project. I forget the name of it. It was like Project Mountaintop or something like that. It has like a keyword, you know how they give these projects like keywords or whatever. People were calling the game a Horizon clone from the start. Yeah, like that was the issue. Was from moment one the public was even saying it. You know, when the public is saying it, you got to consider what that means long term. We need 13 more likes on the video, guys. Help me out with that. I appreciate it so much. Let me do something really quickly here. Spaceballs 2 better have merchandising. That's random. Let's see here. Please don't post the trophy list. Yeah, don't post the trophy list for Yōtei in the chat. Many people would consider that spoilers. Many people would consider that spoilers. I scrolled through it very quickly and didn't read through a single one just to let people know it was out there and available. So, yeah, here, I'm just going to go ahead and put you in a timeout. That shouldn't even need explained to you. That seems intentional, so that doesn't seem like somebody that was genuinely interested in the discussion. That seems like a douchebag that saw we were talking about Yōtei and decided to quickly run in here with some kind of a spoiler. Are you watching the combat trailers? What combat trailers are you talking about? I'm not sure what you're talking about. Let's see here. Boom. Do that. Seems like the wolf might take advantage of a staggered enemy. Yeah, I would say from what we've seen and what they said in the one interview, you will not be able to control the wolf directly. Like, hey, go get that guy, attack that guy. You won't be able to do that. But, yeah. The ones that showcase the new weapons. Yeah, I've watched them. Yep. I think they look good. I think they look strong. I think they look fun. You know? If you guys have not hit the like button yet, we're right there. We need 10 more likes for 300. Appreciate you guys so much. Can you pet the wolf, though? This is extremely important information. I believe that you can. Not stellar, but not horrible. Yeah, the Dying Light game's doing fine. I had no interest in it. I didn't feel like buying another game that I would play for an hour and never go back to. There's just too many games coming out this year for me to enjoy and love all of them. Like, my backlog is so ridiculous right now. I wish I would showcase more what the open world side quests are like. Yeah, I mean, I think they've shown plenty. I don't think we need to see any more, personally. I mean, if you personally want to see more of that, that's fine. I think we've seen a ridiculous amount. So, okay, here's what we're going to do, guys. Here is what we are going to do. I got a video about Intergalactic and the Heretic Prophet. There was an interview recently with Neil Druckmann. I've been worried about Intergalactic, and he said some stuff that made me go, you know what? I think they got a secret ingredient for this game, and I want to see what you guys think about it. I'm going to send you all to that right now. You guys on Twitch are going to have to click the link in chat. I'll be back in a little bit for Green Room. All right? I'll be back in a little bit for Green Room. So do me a favor. Click the link in chat on either platform. YouTube, I'll redirect you, but YouTube's not reliable. Okay? So click that link in chat. I'll be over there hanging out with y'all. And maybe you'll get a gifted member if you come hang out. We'll see. We'll see what happens over there. All right? See you over there in the chat.